You're listening to Band Practice with Matthew and Krebs. Rock out with your cock out.
So we are here.
Who do we have?
Michael Lamoglia.
Hello, how are you?
One more time, last name?
Lamoglia, it's Italian. Yes, but I'm here legally. There's no question of that.
It's not actually Italian. I just tell him it is. So that way when Trump comes, he won't get deported. So you're a self-proclaimed Star Trek expert.
Right. I'm a fan's fan. And
Brought books.
Yeah. Paul, are you listening? Because I think you might be interested.
well, if you're a true Trekkie or Trekker, and there is a difference.
I just learned that Trek is the thing.
What is that? Explain.
There's two different things. But before I explain, if you're either or none, there's never any argument about facts. It's never facts. It's never. No, you got those details wrong. There's a few that they do get upset when you get the details wrong. The vast majority just enjoy talking Trek, and there's such a thing as talking Trek. There's a Trekkie and a Trekker now. Everybody has a different opinion on the definition. A Trekker is somebody from the beginning. Talking about TOS, going from the beginning, they'll tell you everything about everything, and they'll delineate facts. They'll give you timelines. They'll go down the chronology of something.
Jesus.
Trekkie is somebody. Hey, I enjoy watching the show. I like talking about the episode yesterday. I want to talk about how it relates to today's headlines. Because Trek was always about that. But so there is a difference, and then there's those just kind of on the fence. Am I a Trekkie? Am I a Trekker? Do I just enjoy talking about it? But they're embarrassed to talk about it because they don't want to get any facts wrong. You'd be surprised.
I'll get facts wrong. I don't give a shit.
Right. Well, you're the exception. A lot of people won't talk about it because they're scared to death that, oh my God, I'm going to say something wrong. I'm going to get called out.
So me and my brother once tried to play Trivial Pursuit, the Star Trek edition.
Oh, wow.
How'd that go?
Me and my brother both thought we knew a whole lot of stuff about Trek, which together we have a quite a massive Trek knowledge. No one has the answers to that fucking game.
They don't.
No. It's like the first question was like in the original series, episode 7, season 1, in scene 27, what was the color of the rock on the left hand of the screen?
Right.
What the fuck?
Right.
Who the fuck knows that shit?
And some of that actually changes with time. I saw a meme that was, it said, which person in this list never played Batman? It said, but it was a 2008 edition, so it said Adam West, Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, and Ben Affleck. Like, how do you answer that? You have to know this game was made in 2008, and that Ben Affleck at the time was the only person not Batman. That'd be fucking annoying.
That is incredible. Yeah, it does change, and that's the other part of it is Trek is a business, period. And they'll sell you. The reason I brought these, they're books here in the studio. That's what you want to call it. And there's a companion, for example, for Star Trek: Next Generation. That's not going to change. The show's done, right?
Yeah.
And some of the facts may, come to, there may be facts that come out later about behind the scenes stuff. DS9. This isn't going to change.
So what is your favorite series?
Hell, Picard doesn't change. He looks exactly the fucking same.
I know. Well, that guy made a hell of a deal with the devil. I mean, God, how are you like 110 years old and you look the same?
It's all the Earl Grey tea.
Yeah. It's Sir Patrick Stewart, by the way.
That's
right.
Yes.
So what's your favorite series?
I'm gonna have to say DS9.
Of course you are.
Really?
Fucking course you are.
Right.
It's so boring. I tried.
You can't start.
I
at
will
one.
give the finale. The finale was probably one of the better ones, I think, because it didn't feel like a cop out. It was like its own thing. And spoiler alert, he died. Like Cisco dies. Like that
He
was.
goes off to his, quote unquote heaven.
Yeah, and that was I thought that was ballsy to actually do that.
Whatever. Cisco's the Che Guevara of space.
Yeah, oh, here we go. It begins.
Is that because he's a man of color?
Yes.
Okay,
Jeez.
just checking.
It's unbelievable. And I can't get out of here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. The door was locked. And the windows are locked. But
And Squeak's out there guarding.
that is correct. Yeah, it's a pit bull.
So I actually read a book because you were coming on.
Oh, is this the Ferengi thing?
Yeah. Frankie Rules of Acquisition.
Oh, God. Here we go. It's fantastic, too. And I'll tell you, Armin Shimmerman, who played Quark on DS9.
Yeah, it's his book.
Yeah, and right. To give DS9 some credit, what did we know about the Ferengi before? TNG treated him like, it was just this crazy race. They kidnapped Gene Roddenberry's wife a couple times in a couple of the episodes in TNG, but that's about all you saw from the Ferengi. Quark Armin Shimmerman turned Quark into what we know as Ferengi, and his lust for gold and his lust for money. And he followed his own rules. He followed the rules of acquisition, but he also had like a kind of a code of honor, where he would do his thing. He would definitely be dealing in the background in the black market, but he always had a code. But that book is fantastic because what he did was he compiled the ones that we've heard.
Yeah.
I don't think he added any.
No, he didn't. It's funny because the book skips pages. So there's pages that are completely blank. It's Rule 37. And there's nothing there because we don't know it. So then, you skip through a couple rules, and all of a sudden the next rule is 137 because we just don't know the rest of them. Because in the show they randomly quoted numbers like, "No, this is rule number 136" or whatever the fuck.
funny.
So it's funny. There are a bunch of back-to-back blank pages. Just says Rule 34 with nothing there.
I found it really funny whenever I see him playing like anything else, because I'll kind of recognize him for a second. I'm like, but why can't I place you? And then I'll put my hands up, cover the ears. Okay, there we go.
There he is.
Now I see it.
And he's he has that face, that you can't.
It's it's just very recognizable. I can't even tell you anyone else who looks like him. Like he's just
So who's very unique too?
Who?
The other Ferengi, Max Grodenchik, which played his brother, Rom. Rom, if you ever see Max without makeup, you're like, oh my god, it's like a troll. There's no other guy like Max. And awesome actor. Don't get me wrong. And at the end, he inherits the throne of Ferenginar because when they were passing, the Grand Nagus was passing the throne over to Rom, nobody expected that. Nobody expected, and the reason nobody expected it is because Rom was kind of like this docile Ferengi, wasn't money grubber like his brother.
They're not money grubbers. They are capitalists.
Right. Well, here we go with the. There's always. But you know what?
I'm just saying.
No,
because they supply the best product for the cheapest price.
Right.
That's how the universe gets better.
Listen,
I've been waiting for this conversation.
Yeah, no, I know.
he's been hyping it up to me.
There's no way. There's no way to get out of it.
You were supposed to be here last month, by the way.
No. It was horrible. I've been avoiding it just because of that. No, I'm glad you brought that up. How did Trek start? It was the
Well, it was supposed to be Gene Roddenberry had an idea, and it was supposed to be the Federation was supposed to represent the United States, the Klingons were supposed to be Russia, and that was supposed to be the thing. Like it was a proxy deal. And we talked about earlier, the undiscovered country, when the Russian moon blew up and the whole empire falls, it's supposed to be like the Soviet Union falling and the end of their capitalist ideas or whatever. And then you get to the next generation, and we're friends with them, sort of.
well.
It's awkward. One of them comes on a ship, but the rest of them don't really hang out with us.
I mean, we're nice with them. We help each other occasionally,
and we all love
you
Worf. We all love Worf.
Yeah, which is kind of like how we do Russia now. So,
by the way, I love the more that you are at least into next gen, the more, because this is one of my favorite fucking scenes ever, is I think it was First Contact when Picard looks at Worf and calls him a coward. I'm like, dude, you don't do that. You don't kill Frank Castle's parents. Don't fuck over Samuel Jackson. Don't take don't get what's his name? Han Solo. What's his name? Harrison Ford. Don't capture Harrison Ford's plane. There's some things you don't do. Don't call a Klingon a coward. And he showed such amazing restraint, but it's in his eyes. I'm fucking killing you with my eyes.
Well, I mean, who else? Honestly, the actor who played Worf, if you think about it, he owned that act, the character. He definitely owned the character. If you think about it. But going back to what we were talking about, the wagon train to the stars was Roddenberry's vision. Back then, when it came out, there was really no television show that that was like it. And what he wanted to do to make it palatable was make it seem like the Wild West. Space was the final frontier, right?
And Kirk was your guy to leap without looking. That's very old western, which I actually hadn't. That makes sense. I just don't think anyone ever told me that specifically. Like it was supposed to be kind of the old west. No one ever like said that. But looking back, yeah, that does kind of make sense.
Well, because it was. Remember, think about it. What was the Final Frontier back in the day? It was the Wild West. Remember all the cowboy shows?
Yeah.
So how do you leap from that to a spacefaring, television show?
What do we romanticize next? Space.
Right. And you had to make it seem like you're going out there like you don't know what you're going to run into. A lot of the shows were cliche. I mean, you had shows that, like Bread and Circuses where they're on a planet and it's like the Roman Empire. How does that happen? I mean, and everybody's a human, by the way. Because they didn't have budget to make everybody look like an alien. But also, I mean...
And even Spock couldn't be full Vulcan. He had to be half human because people wouldn't have liked him. And I heard there was some backlash because he had the ears and they thought he looked like Satan.
Right. Part of it also was, remember, color was coming into play.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very pale, but his ears were kind of greenish, a little bit tinged green. A lot of people didn't feel comfortable with that. They wanted to feel comfortable with somebody, even though he had no emotion. By the way, if you really think about it, Spock, his character, no emotion, was the counterbalance to Kirk, which was
All emotion.
100%.
And there was no restraint. Well, that's why he leapt without looking. That's
Right. And you haven't seen a character since. I mean, think about it. Did Janeway, Janeway had her moments.
Janeway
Cisco
definitely
was
had.
tough.
Janeway definitely had. Well, they all have something to hang their hat on. Like
Correct.
Janeway owned the Borg. Fucking owned the Borg.
She absolutely owned the board,
We're
which is
gonna
why
talk
she's
about
my
that.
favorite.
Here we go. I knew
She's
we
my
were
absolute
gonna-
favorite.
Well, okay.
And I know everyone had at first, everyone had a problem because like, oh, it's a female captain, and like you said, the first couple seasons,
rough.
she does kind of come off as she's a hammer looking for a nail, so she can prove her worth or whatever.
Right.
But she comes into her own in the series, and I think she's amazing. I don't know.
The actress who played Jane, if you think about it, she owned the character. She came in and said, how the hell am I going to play this? There's no precedent. Everybody's a male. Am I going to be tough? Am I going to be soft? Am I going to be in the middle? So and a lot of people weren't comfortable with a woman captain. Think about it. A lot of people weren't comfortable with Cisco as a captain either because he was black.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't see color.
The TV was black and white.
I think he'd still be black then.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it depends how you adjust the
The
contrast.
contrast, right?
Yeah.
It's brightness and contrast, remember. But yeah, to your point, let's talk about
He's still the Che Guevara of space.
Here we go. So let's talk about Voyager. Where this gets ugly.
Voyager is actually the one that I followed on my own. I watched Next Gen with my dad, and then I remember it ending, and I was sad. But I told you, like I was young, so I wasn't like getting like character development and stuff like that. I loved when the movies came out, but Voyager was the one like I was excited. I saw commercials for it. I'm like, holy shit, new episode, and I watched them by myself because my dad just wasn't as into Voyager. I forgot why. I don't think he gave me a reason.
It's hard. It's hard to jump serious.
And it was on UPN. No one watched UPN back in the day. Underpaid Negroes. UPN.
I did.
You did you? Well, I did.
That was WB. In my day, I'm older. WBFS. Channel 33 was local.
Yeah, I didn't have cable, so yeah, I watched the shit out of that.
Yeah, it was a free channel.
Yeah,
They had Honeymooners at night, at midnight.
yeah.
I remember watching that, and then they would have Star Trek: The Original Series. So it was like at night, when your parents think you're asleep. It was fantastic. It was great. But yeah, Voyager. So let me ask you, what did you see in Voyager that you didn't see in TNG or perhaps in TOS, the original series?
There was much more of a moral dilemma, especially towards the end when they developed a new engine, and it was like, okay, we can travel faster, but it's gonna be at a cost.
When they
And-
tried to do the slipstream drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they started off hopeless, which I liked. They were boom. They rocketed like how far away were they again?
75,000.
The Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 75,000.
And I
like-
loved how just like and they're in a ship that really wasn't even built for that. It's a smaller ship.
Right.
And
They didn't even have contact with the Federation, like I think, to like the second season or something
No,
crazy.
no.
Was it?
it's more than that.
It was like I want to say the end of fourth season when they found a pulsar that they can bounce a signal off of.
Yeah.
It was something to that effect, and then they beamed the Doctor, which is, by the way, one of my favorite characters. The Doctor.
Oh, he was great,
Oh, he was-
and that concept was cool. Of
Yes.
yeah, I love that. They even put that, I think, in First Contact too. That's something that came from Voyager to First Contact.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the EMH, the emergency medical hologram of that ship during First Contact.
Yeah.
And they activated it, but of course it's not the same because
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's the same actor, and I still giggle because like when the Borg comes up, he's like giving them like options for creams for the skin irritation because he's just trying to kill time. But I love that it was hopeless, and I mean, we all know they were going to get back. They weren't going to like have him drift, but like that, them trying to figure that out was going to be cool because it's kind of like did you ever see Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember at the half point at the last season, he opens the trunk and the 50 cal's in there.
Right.
The writers had no plan for that yet. They just put it in there, and they're like, "We'll figure it out later." That was Voyager. We'll put you in the middle of fucking nowhere. We'll figure it out later.
I like that.
And it's sort of like almost like a gun to the writer's head. Like at some point, we got to figure out how to get back home. We got to think of some cool new shit that's
Well, they
never been
had to
thought
keep
of.
it alive
Yeah.
because there was no Klingon,
Yeah.
no Romulans to continually fight with. How do you create a show? You got to think about the balls it took to do this, because how do you create a show where everything that you're used to is no longer there, except for the ship, which is a Starfleet ship, the uniform, and now there's a female captain. I mean, really? I mean, how do you do this? So that, to me, first, second, and third season are really hard to watch. But once you get into the fourth season with the Borg and you get the fifth season, and they're starting to communicate with the Federation, it starts getting really good. And now you have character development because remember, B'Elanna and Tom Paris are starting to date.
Yeah, they get married and do their
B'Elanna,
thing. Yeah.
B'Elanna is.
B'Elanna was
the
the
half
half
Klingon.
Klingon
God,
engineer.
she was hot.
Body.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was
she
hot
was
as
like
fuck.
almost 40 and still hot. She's still
Yeah.
hot now, I think.
No, she was hotter with the ridges, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, she was
Is that
sexy as
weird?
fuck.
Is that weird? Like if you met her and you're like, she's taking back your house, like, do you have him at home? Do you have him?
Can you put them on? Just check it out.
Just for a minute. We'll just try it out.
Don't get upset. Worf goes to the same thing too when he goes to bars. They ask him for it too. And actually, that reminds me of the one episode where they like she got split in two somehow,
Yes, they separated.
and she actually couldn't survive without the other half. I think
Right.
they had to like put it back in her.
Right. I mean, see, that's ballsy. How do you do that? Oh my God.
Yeah.
How do you split? And then you think there's no way they're going to put it back together. And then, of course, at the end,
Yeah, they put it back
Got to have
together.
continuity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good. And remember, 7 of 9 when she came on.
I was
board.
about to say,
Yeah.
do you know what Voyager had? That know the show had 7 and 9.
7 and 9.
Oh, and I was just hitting puberty.
Puberty, yeah.
I was
I was gonna
just
say, that
I was just coming into my own frequently.
Yeah, she made. I mean, I think she picked up the show and brought it to life. I mean,
They did
obviously.
she did the whole flip the table thing with the show. Like that was, it was like
She was cerebral. Man.
was like- it was-
cerebral and hot.
it was like TNG, a homeboy growing a beard all of a sudden. Like it made the show that much better.
Yes. I got to tell you,
Was it
Riker.
Jonathan Frakes?
Riker.
Yeah.
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 Riker. When he. Yeah. Did you like it with the beard or without?
With the beard.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's not Riker without
Without the beard, no, it's
Right?
not him.
At the beginning, he was kind of squishy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and the uniform sucked at the beginning of TNG. I mean,
Yeah.
they obviously changed the uniforms. They were like jumpsuits or something.
Yeah.
What about Troy? Think about Troy. She was in a jumpsuit at the beginning. She just has a weird body. Later,
What?
she became
She's hot.
Yeah, no, at
She
the
was
beginning,
hot.
at the first, second season, horrible. She became super ultra hot around the fourth season when they had her in a uniform. I guess that's the thing about a uniform.
She wasn't even in the uniform. She was always in like a
the
fucking
fourth-
leotard.
Yeah,
no,
like
Jerry-
gray-
Jerry Taylor.
She always
Gray
had like
leotard.
the gray leotard because she was like the counselor. She wasn't like an actual
and
Starfleet.
she could read your fucking mind.
Yeah,
how,
she-
how hot but uncomfortable is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
no, you can't cheat. But here's what I'll tell you. Here's a nerd.
you can't even be a
tricky-
friend and think about bending her over. Like
You can't.
Yeah, something about butt stuff. Okay, fine. Yeah, you win. She also hasn't aged too bad either.
No, I'm telling you, she got hotter with age. I mean, well, because maybe I'm getting older. But okay, so let's rewind.
the only one that aged really bad is Janeway, and I'm sorry, she looks terrible.
Does she?
The recent pictures, she looks terrible.
I like to think she did that on purpose for Orange. Orange is the New Black. She
That
had
might be.
she had to
Is she
look.
in that?
Yeah, she's.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? She's the
No.
She plays the Russian.
Yeah, the Russian cook lady.
I don't watch the show. That's another thing about Trekkies. We hate to see our characters in anything else. And a lot of them don't survive, by the way, if you think about it. It's a great opportunity if you're an actor or an actress to be part of Star Trek.
But you don't really go anywhere else.
You don't go anywhere else.
You might even play two different characters. Tuvok, the guy who played Tuvok was in. Fuck, was it? What was the crossover movie? With
Generations.
Generations.
Oh, Star Trek
Tuvok.
Generations.
Tuvok is actually in that. He's on the ship that Kirk dies on, but he's not. He's just like a generic dude. He's just a generic.
He's a red shirt.
Yeah.
But think about
He
it.
doesn't have the ears because I watched Voyager and I went back and saw it. I'm like, it's Tuvok, but it's not Tuvok. Oh, and he really he has like, almost no lines.
You know what I don't like about Star Trek is there's no equality. Because in the animated series there was an entire away team of females in red shirts and not one of them died.
The animated
Well,
series. First of all.
because they just sent him to the store. I mean, they didn't send him anywhere important.
Wow. Well,
Is that sexist? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. But The animated series. Boy, you would bring that up. The animated series.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen that.
It's rough.
I haven't actually seen it. I just read about
I
that.
have, and it's
I thought
rough.
it was hilarious.
That is-
You know, but here's the thing with animated series. You could, if you watched it, I mean, it's hard to watch. They did things that they couldn't do on the show because they can afford it. Remember, you can draw whatever you want. So you can see.
Yeah, but the
Vulcan.
animation was all crappy.
It was horrible. And
It was terrible.
Like they couldn't move.
It was like it was like Space Ghost Coast to Coast shit. Like
Yes, it was horrible. It was really hard. I mean, the storylines weren't bad. I mean, they showed Vulcan for the first time because remember they couldn't afford to do it. They showed Spock as a child and his pet. So it's those little things, but
you don't need it. It's
Yeah,
not
you
one of those
don't.
things you need.
No, you don't.
You can get everything without it.
But did you tell him your idea about Star Trek Legends?
That's what I don't know. Have I told you about that?
no.
I wanted to have a series where, okay, so every week
It's something totally different.
something completely different, new crew, new ship, new something, and then throughout that season you have them maybe interact with a crew from a previous episode about something, and then the finale of each, and it'll all come together, kind of like at the end of the season, right? So where everything, these individual crews or whatever is happening, all come together and form one story arc.
Right, and at the end,
At the season finale, you see everybody interact and
Right.
and how it all comes, like a Pulp Fiction type thing.
got it.
But you
but
could,
but over an entire series.
It's not bad.
Season. That would be a cool thing to do.
and you could have like, because we fleshed it out a little bit. And I remember, I think we were drunk and we were like texting in caps as if that'll tell the Star Trek people what we're doing, even though we were just talking on the phone.
Yeah.
But we were talking about how you could have, like an original crew episode, but a lot of them are dead. So maybe you animate that one. You do every one is a different crew, different people, but you could also do it in different styles. So if you want to do the old crew, you could animate that one because then you could find somebody who does Leonard Nimoy's voice well,
Right.
and so you could. But then it all comes,
together, or you can make it completely fresh. Nothing to do with the past. It could just be a different, timeline, or it could be a different sector of space.
Because this is my biggest. So Sir Patrick Stewart is getting another Star Trek series. They're going to have one just on Picard. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
Okay.
And everybody's got an opinion on it.
This is my gripe. We haven't gone. We went from the original series to TNG, and we've stayed in that time era for decades now.
Well, but
And Deep Space Nine was like what 10 years later,
right.
and it would
Well,
in the
it felt-
timeline.
Well, no,
it wasn't-
no. TNG launched DS9, but it was so out there in the frontier that it had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, but still,
Of course,
but the
Voyager
time,
was
but the
in-
time frame was
Well, it was about
it was the same era.
They
It was
brought
like,
they brought in Worf and Riker on DS9,
Right.
Like they-
yeah.
Right. I mean, it was
when
pretty
the
much-
ratings dipped.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
Flip the
right,
table.
you're right.
Anyway,
Yeah. We're the warrior.
I want something 100 years past that era.
So you don't like?
I wanna see the
so
future.
So you're not a fan of the prequel, the Star Trek stuff that's coming out now, all this stuff with Star Trek.
The new Trek, I love it. It's great because my wife enjoys it, so I can go to the theater with her and she'll come watch it with me.
That's
oh,
crazy.
J.J. Abrams.
That's
Oh.
crazy.
and I enjoy it, and I'm not even gonna lie. Into Darkness, I thought was fan-fucking-tastic.
I didn't think it was as strong as the first one, and I felt like they sort of shoehorned. I love it personally, just watching it. I enjoy watching it, but it felt like they blew their load twice. Like you went too epic because the third one I thought should have been in the middle because that was just a good story of them doing shit.
Yeah, that was just a
and
good one.
I didn't see that twist. We all knew who the fuck Benedict Cumberbatch was playing. We all knew that was Khan.
Yeah.
I don't care how many times J.J. Abrams tweeted, "It's not Khan. It's not Khan, dude. It's fucking Khan."
Yeah, that's incredible too. That
Because we want that. So drag it out.
But
right.
I just really liked how they did the whole scene, but they flipped Kirk and Spock's spots at the end of Into Darkness.
Yeah, but he
I
should have
love
been.
that. That was
But
great.
he should have been dead. Like that's what made the Wrath of Khan so good. Is because
It ended and Spock was gone.
He was gone. And,
But also, okay. So the original there was written. It was written as a trilogy movie. So you had 2, 3, and 4 Star Trek movies were written as a trilogy. Like they were written together because Star Wars had come out and they were like, well, we need a space thing and we need to do multiple movies. Oh, we have this property. All right, let's use this shit. Put it out. And that's how it all came together. So yes, they left the movie with him empty, but they knew he was coming back because they had already written the
the
shit.
next one was called
Yeah.
Search for Spock.
Yeah. So
but we gotta like live with him like not existing. Like
Yeah.
that was.
Well, that's true too. Now let me rewind a minute. And here's what I'm going to tell you is the biggest gripe that Trekkies have with the way J.J. Abrams has taken the series or has taken the franchise and kind of thrown it out there. And I'll tell you what the problem is.
because it wasn't They went way too action versus what
Well-
Trek is normally.
Correct. And there's a
he
big
pl-
thing out there.
And he plays loose and fast with the technology, explaining stuff and fleshing it out. It's just, yeah, this works because it works.
This works, and you know what? A lot of people enjoy that portion of it. But here's what I'll tell you: the average Trekkie will say that the new Star Trek franchise, the way it's going, is to appeal to a broader audience, so we can bring money in. It's not true to the Trek, and of course, it's J.J. Abrams doing his timeline thing. A lot of people hate him because even back in the day when he was just a writer, he always loved to do the timeline stuff, and it was always wacky and out there. Didn't rely too much on technology. How do we get to this timeline? No. How do we get out of it?
Red
You-
matter.
No, you just loop around the sun really quick.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, right.
It's literally a big, vague red blob called red matter.
Red
Like,
matter.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Here you go. And then Star Trek Online, the game, which is fantastic, by the way, free to play if anybody's interested. And I'm not plugging them. I do play it every now and then.
You know who we plug constantly on this show?
Oh well. Can I guess?
Sure.
I just want to make one guess.
Yeah.
Do they make wine?
They do. They do make wine. How'd you know?
I
They're
thought-
actually in Homestead, Schnebley's Winery.
Right.
We're going to try and go there tonight, actually.
That's fantastic. I think I'll join you.
No, you should.
You should.
fantastic.
Come on by. And then tell them you heard it from us.
I will. I
Go
will.
on to social media, like their pages. We're still not sponsored by them, but
It would be great if they had a Star Trek night.
you know what?
Klingon
We could-
blood wine.
They could run a con there.
Hey, somebody running down, up and down, screaming.
I just had I just had a really fucked up but really funny idea for an episode of Star Trek Legends that you wanted to do. It's a crew that lives the same day over and over again, and they all die at the end. So it's kind of like the Kobayashi Maru in that they all die, but they also come the day resets, but they come back with the previous knowledge.
Wow.
So they just keep redoing the day over and
But
over
they
differently?
die every day.
No matter what they do.
Yeah. So on their
Groundhog
ti-
Day, right? Is
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they all slowly fucking go insane. Oh, because they know they're gonna die, and there's nothing they can fucking do about
How
it.
do you ride out of that?
You back up, and it's a Q fucking with him. He goes, "All right, sorry, here you go." That's the. I just thought of this. Like,
Oh, cute.
and that would just be your nonsensical episode when you're trying to build something, and you go, "Fuck this, let's just go off."
Well, like where they normally
Everyone.
would do like the holodeck. We're doing an Old West thing.
Yeah.
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 Because fuck that. That's That's always the boring episode. Like, oh, we're gonna do an episode on the holodeck.
Which
Before we got to the discussion about, just to rewind it, before we got to the discussion about the new movies, I'm going to tell you something that really irks all fans, at least most fans, 90%. There was never any DS9 movie. It went from TNG forever, and it went directly into the new stuff. No, DS9 didn't get a shot. Voyager didn't get a shot for
But they don't need movies.
Cisco,
They're self-contained.
Cisco's gone.
Cisco's gone, and
But you
Voyager
could've
made
brought
it
him back.
Voyager made it home. What are you gonna do?
You could have brought him back.
Why?
Well,
It's closed. It's done.
a lot of people feel that
Feel
that was,
whatever you
it was
want.
a cheap way to get rid of him.
No, they closed off. They got home. What are you gonna do? Have a finale movie? Like that doesn't.
I would say it's cheap, and they killed off the black guy. Really.
Well, a lot of people feel that way. And
He's
I'll
the
tell you-
once again. He's the Che Guevara of space.
Here we go. It's got to be. Oh my god! And I'm sitting just for the fans at home. I'm sitting next to a Trump
Trumpy bear.
bear
It's not a
Wrapped
Trump
it-
bear. It's a Trumpy bear.
wrapped.
He
wrapped in
came
an
with that American flag. He came with that American flag. That's his flag.
It's twice as long as he is.
America.
Anyway, we'll change the subject, or else we'll never get out of here. And by the way, I really feel. I mean, I don't know about you. I feel this has to be a two-parter. It's just too much.
What has to be a two-parter?
This.
This podcast?
Of course.
Oh yeah, you can come back. That's fine.
It's got to be, but it's got to say part one in the description. We got to make sure but then we don't do it for like 3 months.
This one's gonna be called The Wrath of Mike.
I was about to.
And then-
I was about to say
and then
Wrath of. Say your last name again. I was going to say.
Lamoglia.
And then the next one will be The Search for Mike.
That's fantastic. You come up with this.
We drink.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
I will say something about something I liked on DS9 that I haven't seen anywhere else. You ever seen the bloopers? They're fucking hysterical.
I never.
I got it. I'll try and find them for you on like YouTube. But there's only one I can remember that was really funny. Was they're on some weird sort of foresty planet, and there's like a giant tree with like overhang. And Cisco's walking in, and he goes, and you kind of see him off in the distance. He walks in, and he goes, but it's really dark and ominous. He goes, "Oh fuck that, I'm out," and he just darts out. But you don't see that coming because you don't like when you like queue up the video, you don't know it's a blooper reel.
Right. I got to
I'm trying to remember the rest of them, but I remember laughing my ass off at those. I don't remember if like I've ever seen a blooper reel for like Next Gen or
No.
TNG or anything like that. No, I saw one for TNG where Picard just couldn't get his lines right, and it just kept going on, and it was funny at the first two times, and then after that, you can tell everybody was angry. It's like, come on, you're a Shakespearean actor, for God's sakes.
You know what's funny? I've seen interviews with him, and like, oh, why'd you decide to do Star Trek? He's like, oh, my agent said it wasn't going to go anywhere. I figured it was going to be a couple episodes and be done.
He had no idea.
He was like, I wasn't really. He's like, I hadn't really done film before, and I wasn't really planning on it, but I needed money, so I did it, and it turned into this thing, and I just kept showing up.
Cashing the checks.
Yeah.
Think about though being typecast.
Yeah,
After that, I mean, it's
Well,
hard.
he
hard.
made it great.
No, he did, but
He's in-
you can't get out of this. I
What are
mean,
you talking
honestly,
about?
you can't get out of the uniform.
He's probably one of the best casting choices
He
Fox
could
made for
probably-
their.
To be fair,
their-
that was pure luck that they made a character that just happened to look and sound just like him. Like
I agree with that.
He
I
might
mean,
have been-
still,
think
he
about it.
nailed it.
without
He did.
X-Men, he might have been stuck like fucking doing still like Pepsi commercials for Star Trek.
That's
like
correct. That's right. I mean, very few actors can get out of this thing.
Yeah.
They can't get out of the uniform. Think about it.
although
he's
I
one of
would
them.
have hired him to just like read stories to me every night. Like I would pay him for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little creepy, but down if the lights are off.
You made it creepy. I'm just trying to go to bed. And his voice is just so soothing.
Oh, well, speaking of soothing voices, Worf. I mean, think about Worf. Always had that monotone feel about him.
he got to play two characters too.
Who do you play?
He played Worf, and then he played Worf's grandfather.
Do you really?
Yeah,
That's cheap.
because he was a lawyer.
Right,
For,
in Undiscovered Country.
Undiscovered country on the planet Klingon.
They never gave him
Because
a name.
they captured Kirk and they put him on trial
Right.
because they thought he
I need
killed
to watch that
Chancellor
again.
Gorkon.
I missed that.
'Cause they thought it- yeah.
I haven't watched that,
Do you remember?
that one in a while.
Okay, do you remember they were in the pit and Kirk and McCoy?
McCoy, yeah,
They had their arms tied, and they're looking up at the arbiter. Let's say the
yeah,
judge.
whatever.
And it's almost like a gladiator's pit. And
Yeah.
then they have a lawyer there, and it's Worf.
It's Worf's grandfather.
Right.
I need to go back and see that again.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Klingons in the new movies. They all look too uniform and too like the same to me. Like at least I could tell. You had what's his name, Christopher something from Back to the Future.
Yeah, they look. I don't know.
They all look different enough for me. I could go, okay, that's a different guy. That's a different guy. But in the new ones, they're just all like they all had the exact same makeup.
But they didn't flesh him out.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's Abrams. He doesn't. He just wants there to be a lot of shooting, killing, get the general populace, the lowbrows out there. Hey, look! Oh my God, there's a lot of killing, and then to continue the story.
well, which is good because, like I said, my wife enjoyed it, so I could, say, hey, let's go to the theater, see this movie. Actually, Into Darkness, we went to the Cine Bistro, and it was awesome, and I got
Okay.
to enjoy Trek, and my wife enjoyed it with me.
Right.
Because I tell you what, so I made her watch Wrath of Khan, and which is one of the best sci-fi movies of all time. Not just Trek movies, sci-fi movies.
Before I was into Star Trek,
Awesome
I saw
fucking-
that. I'm like, this is amazing. Before I knew how to appreciate what
Yeah.
this was.
And then when you appreciate Trek and watch it again, holy shit, great flick.
Right.
This girl falls asleep in it. Like,
Right. Well, hey, hold on.
Like-
I got a story.
Well, you used to love her.
Yeah.
No. But were you married already or not yet?
No, not yet.
Wow. Okay. So great. We have the same story. Maybe.
But I give her points. She was like, I was like, let's watch this, and she's like, okay.
Right. My wife. So we started dating. I said to her, there was a premiere of an episode of The Next Generation at the movie theater because they were pushing the Blu-ray. It just was coming out.
Yeah.
So they wanted to do a high def in the movie theater. Get some nerds out there. So I called my wife. I said, or at the time my girlfriend. I said, look, me and a couple of guys who also don't see the sunlight very often. We're going to go watch this episode. You want to join us at Sunset Place? Back before it was what it is now. She says, sure. She gets out of work. She gets there. The whole thing
Yeah,
is
people used to go to movies at Sunset Place, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember back in the day.
Yeah.
It's still there, but you can't go. Anyway, so we sit down. There's nobody in there but me, my two nerd friends, and my girlfriend shows up, and she's like, you can almost see it in her face, like, oh my God. The episode of The Next Generation starts, which I think was the best of both worlds, where Picard becomes a Borg, the cutest of Borg.
Yeah.
And I think it was 10 minutes into it. And I thought it was a sound effect. And it was hard. And she still married me, so kudos to my wife.
Yeah. No, but when we went to the Cine Bistro and watched Into Darkness, she loved it.
Right.
She stayed awake the whole time, and then she even, when the third one came out, she even suggested, she's like, "Oh, that Star Trek movie's coming out this weekend. Let's go." Like, all right, cool. We're gonna go watch some Trek. I'm in.
Yeah.
That one was sad though because Leonard Nimoy died and then
Yeah.
Old Spock
Right.
died. I'm like, oh, and then we lost what's his name?
Chekhov.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is-
what did he die of? I don't remember.
He got
Oh.
hit by his own fucking car.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, there was something wrong with the brakes or something because his family sued and like won a bunch of money.
Well, no, because apparently, from what I heard, there were, like his house was on a hill or some shit, and his gate was locked. So he gets out of the car and didn't hit the fucking emergency brake, and is standing in front of the car and gets smashed by the car between the gate and the car or whatever. And
Oh
that
my
was it.
gosh.
Although to be fair, he kind of almost peaked in life because he got to play Chekhov, and he got to play the dude who in the future will bang Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
In the Terminator Salvation.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah.
Which I actually bought Terminator Salvation on DVD just because I wanted like I thought it was going to like go somewhere. It's the one with Christian Bale.
Right.
Which I really enjoyed that one, honestly.
I did too,
Yeah.
and that's why I bought it because I wanted all the behind the scenes stuff. And the reason they cast the dude who played Chekhov, their only criteria was, okay, so who do you think? What's the woman's name from Terminator 2? Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor?
No,
the actress.
The actress, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It's the beer, ladies and gentlemen. I had 3 before I got here.
Fuck. It's like on tip of my tongue. But her. They were like, well, okay, who do you think she'd bang? And they just looked at headshots. Like, you know what? Him when he puts on a little muscle mass, and that's why they picked him. Because they thought that he was fuckable to her.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a little bit of trivia there. God.
That's awesome.
Linda Hamilton.
There you
She's
go.
coming back in the new Terminator.
Is she?
Yes.
I kind of want her to. Like, I don't know how much she can do because she's kind of older, but
At this point-
I feel like she's earned a cameo. She's earned, like, she was fucking
in there.
badass in 2.
But yeah, she's coming back in the new Terminator.
That's a franchise that I think it was fantastic. Then it kind of got weird.
What?
T3. Come on.
Okay, T3 was the story we needed, but we didn't want.
Right.
And then I thought Salvation was great, and I wish they had done more with Christian Bale and done another one to that because it was a really good
But,
storyline.
But it was kind of a departure from what you were expecting, and then it didn't wrap around. I think you're right. If they
Yeah.
had brought it back around,
If they had done like a sequel or like a trilogy plan out,
3.5 or something.
yeah, and then they did Genesis, which I enjoyed Genesis again, but the only reason I didn't like Genesis is because there was no character continuity and it was kind of like but it was great in the fact
It's
that it
kind
was
of like your Star Trek Legends. It's not much of a continuity if you think about it.
I really enjoyed that one because it was almost like a sequel directly of Terminator 2. Like you could skip everything else after it. You don't need it. You can go straight from Terminator 2 to Genesis and the story's complete.
I did have one thought about Genesis. So when you go into the time travel thingy,
That's what you get.
I should honestly
Inside
ask.
joke.
I usually ask, but I was trying to come back because I wanted to jump in the Terminator stuff.
Thanks for the beer, Krebs.
No, you're welcome. But so when you go into time travel thing, only organic material, which is why Arnold couldn't join them because he like cut off his hand or whatever. So theoretically, he could have joined them if he took his metal ass and he shoved it up his ass and he held it there the entire time and exposed no metal. So then he could have come. It would look really fucking weird, but technically he
Wouldn't
would
have been detected somehow, or
No.
Well, as long as he's encased in organic material.
Yeah.
So shut up your ass, Arnold. Basically.
what? Well, let's talk about that. What sci-fi movie or even franchise would have made a good TV series? Think about that for a minute. If you had to think,
Sci-fi.
last 30 years.
Would have made a good
Damn it!
TV series.
I wish you'd asked me that last week so I could have molded over because I feel like
Right.
I've got a good bunch of them, but I got
So Running Man. I'll throw some out, and you guys shoot back. Running Man. I don't know if you remember that movie.
but it's been a while.
It's been a long time. Well,
It's kind of like Hunger Games before Hunger Games.
Yes.
Hunger Games.
I'm gonna go with Blade Runner.
okay. Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, I think, would have made a good series.
Why?
Because it would have just been a long series of Blade Runner. Like you would have been able to flesh more things out on each episode, but they would have had to do it like they do Netflix series now.
Right. They'd have to do like 14 at a time or something.
yeah, they could do
Flesh
like
it out a little bit.
They could do 7 or 8
Right.
episodes for a series. Like I just watched Altered Carbon on there recently.
I just started that drunk, and I made the mistake of watching it drunk. I need to be sober.
Yeah, you have to be sober. But that show is intense and is awesome, and that's what I imagine a Blade Runner series could have been
You have to
like.
chop it up right. You have to
Yeah.
do a pie chart of what you're going to expose.
Yeah, they would have had
Yeah.
to work it out before they just started filming.
I think
But
so.
I think that would have made a great series.
That would have been.
It'd be hard to do, but RoboCop.
So RoboCop. The issue with RoboCop is that it takes place in
The future.
right, and it's like in a city, and it's just so much you can do with it. If you had done, but now think about it for a minute. If you had done RoboCop throughout 50 cities, you know that there's a RoboCop.
Yeah.
50 different cities and different situations going on. kind of a Legends, where what happens in this city is different from this one, but then at the end, maybe there's some kind of
Yeah, but half the
war or
appeal
something.
half the appeal of RoboCop is that he used to be a man and he's got a family connection. You know,
Right. But they did it once. It worked well. Why would they not do it again?
Right. Why can't they do it in multiple cities where this guy has a
And they
family,
could even
this
like
guy's-
fucking dress him up well. They could like.
I think we did have that show. I think it was called Quantum Leap.
Oh, man, Quantum
fucking,
Leap.
oh god, I love Quantum. I
That
still
was
love
the greatest. I think
I
that
want to
was-
finish it, but I've heard that the ending is so depressing. Like, it
No,
doesn't really
yes,
go anywhere.
you don't want to do that. Yes,
I think
you're like me.
cracked an article. It was like top 5 like most depressing endings.
Yes.
Is that it was like dinosaurs where basically the meteor comes and they all die. Mork and Mindy where they just like are in oblivion and like go nowhere. It's like all these like really depressing endings. And I think
Man,
that was one of them.
I miss Robin Williams.
And they even like I hadn't seen this episode, but I read about it. They totally fuck with you because the thing starts off with he hopes the next leap is leap home, and he does actually in one episode leap into himself, but like a younger version of himself. So he has to leave again. That's this fucking with my emotions.
How about Judge Dredd? Judge Dredd.
Not the one.
I am the law.
Not the one with Stallone. The one with Carl Urban, where he doesn't take out the mask. It's a lot more faithful to the comic.
That's a lot more faithful to the comic. The Stallone one had
that'd be tough,
that
though.
dynamic with his slash quote unquote brother. That was the dynamic with Stallone. But that was fantastic. I thought it was great.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could do a series of that because he never takes off the mask. He's just this thing. He's basically
guy.
RoboCop. Actually, he's basically
Yeah.
just because that's how much you're really going to connect with him.
Right.
So are you really going to have 14 seasons where he just never takes off the fucking mask?
Or you can flesh him out. I mean, it's always an option.
That could be the exciting part of it. Is he going to take off the mask? Kind of like they did with Smallville, where
Oh.
it was Superman, but he wasn't Superman because the one rule they had for the show was no tights, no flights.
Yeah.
So there was always this anticipation of, is he going to fly this episode? Is he going to Is he going to put on the fucking suit? Is it?
And he
God damn it! Not again!
not
Fuck.
again.
and he does fly, but it's not him.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like what was it? Jor-El took over his body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. That was. Do you guys remember Demolition Man?
Absolutely.
Oh my god!
Wesley Snipes is the shit in that movie.
I just thought about this. I need to watch it again because we're getting there. Like we're getting so fucking PC. Outlawing. They just outlawed vaping and offshore drilling. They put it on the same fucking
On the
bill.
bill, yeah.
Like
and how the fuck did Florida pass so many goddamn amendments?
Here we
This
go.
is a state that doesn't pass any
Ladies
fucking
and gentlemen,
thing.
It happens naturally. There's no script here. We were talking about sci-fi.
We
and
are the
now-
last frontier.
And
We
now,
are the last
now
frontier.
DeSantis is in the room with Trump.
there are no rules here, and we're trying to pass them, but we don't know. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, we're just making this all up as we go.
Yes, 100%, 100%. So, let's talk about comics real quick. Star Trek
What do you-
comics.
Star Trek comics?
Never got off the ground. They sucked. They were horrible.
That's hard to do because you have a lot of exposition that's
Didn't-
hard to make interesting on a page.
Didn't Spock fight Batman? Wasn't that a thing? I'm pretty sure
so.
Spock fought Batman.
I know he fought Wolverine in something else. I only know this because of some random picture I saw where
Yeah.
it was like a snapshot of the comic, and he does like the Vulcan neck pinch, and it takes him down for like 30 seconds. He goes, "Wait, you're not supposed to get back up."
Right. I can
Seen
see
that.
that. Everything's so weird. But the comics never took off the ground. The toys never took off the ground. Took off. I mean, we're sitting here with coasters, with Star Trek, the original series coasters that are like transporter pads.
Yeah.
And only like a Trekkie would have something like this, like on a shelf somewhere. Nobody goes out and buy these. Nobody's interested in that. Maybe the shirts, maybe. You want to be, gold shirt. You want to be a red shirt.
So on Facebook,
Don't be a red shirt.
yeah, don't be a red shirt. I'm out on red shirts.
Oh, you're about to get divorced.
Oh.
Gotta put it on.
Kind of feeling low.
Walk in.
I'm part of a group on Facebook called Star Trek Shit Posters,
Right.
and it's just these guys. They're just constantly shit posting about Star Trek, and they always post like stupid questions, like what would have been different about Wrath of Khan if Kirk was on the Death Star.
Oh my god.
But these people.
And it always comes back to Star Wars versus Star Trek, doesn't
Well,
it?
no, they're not.
Well, but there's always
they're just
some of
fucking
it.
around.
Right.
But the new thing they're doing now is everyone's taking pictures of themselves with their communicator badges.
Oh, God.
So they all have it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I've got to see it.
I don't know if this site is still up, but we used to go there and just laugh. It was called, I think it was KlingonsForChrist.com.
Shut
Here
the
we go.
fuck
Here
up.
we go.
I'm not kidding.
Klingon, are you serious?
Yeah,
See,
I don't know if the site is up, but like we used to go there in like 0506 when the internet was still kind of newish. But yeah, totally a thing.
Wow.
I'm not making. Why would I make that up?
No, but there's a charity called Cobra Cares. You know Cobra from G.I. Joe?
yeah,
These guys dress up, guys and gals
funny.
dress up and awesome. I'm telling you, they look like the Blue Soldiers.
They cosplay like a motherfucker. Huh?
Cosplay hard, and I mean, you got Destro, you got everybody on there, and it's Cobra Cares, and they donate the money for charity and all that.
Does it actually work out? Because as I remember, Cobra, things never worked out for him.
No, they didn't.
So it's like,
and you wanted it to because the costumes and the toys were so cool. You're like, come on, G.I. Joe sucks. The guy has no shirt. Duke is running around by himself, and there's 4 tanks chasing him. Kill him! And they don't. And then Duke by himself takes out 4 tanks. Come on.
That's how G.I. Joe works, man. There's
incredible.
So, a couple years ago, I actually found a group on Facebook called Hookers for Jesus.
It's incredible.
they blocked me.
They blocked me as well.
They blocked me years ago because I asked for prices and I asked if Jesus said they can swallow.
Oh, here we go.
I got blocked after like a month of harassing them.
This is why I left the car running. But no, there's everything out there.
Yeah.
There's a-
Well, their group was actually well intentioned or whatever. They were like, it was supposed to be a place for hookers to come and they could help rehabilitate you into the church and make you not a hooker anymore.
Right.
And
Yeah, it's
and their big thing was the only way to stop hooking is to start believing in Christ.
Oh, well, to each his own.
Yeah.
To each his
So,
own on that.
Yeah.
But going back to comics, since we touched on it, Star Trek comics never went anywhere. Then you had, thank you, sir. Then you had other comics that could have been great shows. You guys remember a toy and a comic called Visionaries? Maybe not. It was like a action figure, and they all had like these mirrors, and inside the mirror was like a picture of an animal. So, for example, a lion. The guy would turn into a lion. He had armor, and it was in the future, but everybody was fighting with swords. See, that could have been a good series. That could have been a good cartoon. It came out in a comic, one shot of a cartoon, and it disappeared. That's an example of something. And Star Trek is the same. The animated series, you can't swallow it. You just can't. It's too
terrible.
cerebral. It's terrible. Some people love it. There's just no way. And by the way, that came out because Roddenberry wanted to do Star Trek 2. By the way, Star Trek 2 was the name of the series that was going to come out after TOS. They lost funding. They didn't want to do it. Everybody backed out. So they came out with the comic. The cartoon, just to kind of keep it alive. Then the horrible, and I don't care how much of a Trekkie you are, the motion picture.
The motion picture.
Still haven't seen it.
Star Trek.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh
Don't.
my God, don't. I mean,
That's why I don't.
it's an interesting take, but
It's a really good concept.
you'll never come back to Star Trek.
Beager.
Horrible. Vigir, as somebody would say.
It's
Somebody I know.
God, it's so bad. It's one of those things where you watch it and you go, okay, yeah, if it was the 70s, I guess. Like they
It
changed
didn't age well.
at all. It does not hold
Even
up.
when it came out. I mean, you know what the problem was? Star Wars came out.
Yeah.
And Star Trek thought, hey, let's make some money. Look at this. This is making money. I know, we'll do this. And that wasn't it. Horrible. And I think it's just like everything else. When you have a really good movie about something, then you try to emulate it. Everybody poo-poos on it.
Well, okay, so we've talked about on the show 100 times the MCU, right? So the MCU started this thing where everyone's like, oh, we need to have a connected universe because that's why the MCU is good.
Right?
And then you build to something where they're all in the same one.
But that's not why the MCU is good.
Why?
The MCU is good is because they're literally taking what they already know how to do, which is great comic books.
They have decades of material.
Decades of material, and they're picking the best material, which they already know is a successful storyline. They're taking it, and they're literally moving it from one medium to another.
And they're also taking a lot of time to sort of
Perfect casting.
trim it, cut the edit, like consolidate some things. Like, for instance, the Tesseract is its own thing. The Space Stone is its own thing. They're like, well, let's just make them the same thing. Like because we only have so much screen time. Like, they're really condensing it, and they know exactly what to keep and exactly what to get rid of.
Versus like Warner Brothers with the DC property is just all over the board.
Everywhere.
And like
And
Universal.
you want it to work. It just doesn't.
Yes, of course they do.
And then Universal tried to do the whole monsters thing. Like, oh, we're going to have a connected universe. Like, being a connected universe is not what is exciting. What's exciting is being a comic book nerd your whole fucking life and all of a sudden getting to see great fucking movies of the same storylines.
That's
Like,
remember as a child.
exactly.
There's
This is awesome.
And let me tell you something. It's this whole Netflix thing, and I'm not a huge fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not a huge fan about getting a character and then doing like 14 episodes and coming back. You can do a series, like for example, Captain America, the Bloodstone Hunt, which was a summertime 6-parter looking for these things called Bloodstones. You can do a series on that, but MCU is probably the only one that can do it right.
Yeah.
And you give it to Sony, and they'll do
Venom.
what they did to Spider-Man. They've been trying to make Spider-Man right, in my opinion, for how many years now?
Came out-
Since I was in high school. Yeah.
The first one came out in 2001.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about Homecoming?
I enjoyed it. It was
Fantastic.
amazing.
It was fantastic.
Wasn't
Like,
it?
yes, because it wasn't about him fight. It wasn't as much about fighting criminals. It was him being a teenager and that struggle, and that was. And they made changes like what's his name? Toombs was a gangster, but now he's
they didn't
a
have-
dude who was screwed over by the recent events, and he's also like a dude who was like sort of maybe upper middle class, but kind of screwed over by society. Oh my gosh, a lot of people are there with him. Like it's updated, but somehow still relevant.
And I like how they didn't have to kill Uncle Ben again.
Yeah,
They didn't have to have that scene.
There's no reason for it.
my favorite thing was there's a guy who has the Twitter account Uncle Ben Dies, and when Homecoming was announced, he goes, "Oh my god, how many more fucking times do I have to die?"
However, I have heard that Sony's Into the Spider-Verse, the animated one, is
Yeah.
out fucking standing, and I want to go see it.
I want to see it too, but here's my take on all this. Why can't Sony get it right? The reason, and everybody has a reason.
Because it's not their material.
Not their stuff, right?
It's not theirs.
It's not their
They don't-
baby.
And
Well, 'cause-
they try to bring in, writers that have these off the wall ideas to talk about something that's not there in the universe to try to, I don't know, make money. I don't get it.
It's a money grab. Okay, so
It's a money grab.
it's an absolute money grab, and they're operating on an old strategy. So the MCU gets it.
It's
So
not
they-
entirely a money grab in that they have to make a movie, or I think the rights go back, so they
Yeah.
have to. It's also like self-preservation.
My
Yeah.
gosh, but you would think that they would collaborate
Well,
with the people who know what
No.
they're doing.
That's Homecoming.
That's
Yeah,
Homecoming.
that's how Homecoming.
They finally called Kevin Feige. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I think these ratings, when you go to Walmart and every Spider-Man movie is $5 in the bin,
Yeah.
come on. You're not going to
Well-
but you're not going to see Infinity Wars in the $5 bin anytime soon.
No,
Right.
No, not
no,
at all.
because it's on Netflix.
It is.
It is on Netflix.
No,
And
it is.
Redbox.
It is. And so we
Redbox, a provider of excellent movies.
but
Redbox. How old are you?
You never know. I don't know. Maybe
How old are
maybe
you?
we could blog. What if we get a phone call?
I've done Redbox occasionally because there's
Yes.
just something that's just not any. It's not on anything else, and I happen to walk by. Oh, yeah, cool, it's there.
Why not?
Who still has a DVD player?
Yeah, I know.
Physical media is on the way out.
Come on over.
Anything physical media is gone.
Monkey does, and inside of his Blu-ray player.
Yeah, I know. Is my copy of Pumping Iron. He
Yeah.
still hasn't fucking watched it.
No, he's about 3/4 of the way through it.
Yeah, a lot of people said Blu-ray should have been dead 10 years ago, and it's true. A lot of
Yeah.
who buys and who rents it anymore because everything's online. But here's what I'll
Well,
tell you:
this is
my
this-
buddy feels, and I kind of agree with him. This whole streaming thing, this whole, but you subscribe to Hulu or Netflix. Why do you need to buy a DVD thing? Think about it for a minute. Say day after tomorrow, God forbid, you have no way to support yourself, very tight, no money. You got to cut off all your streaming services. You cut off the ability to watch all these movies that you love. If you have the DVD, you can watch it over and over again all you want because it's in your house.
Or you just buy the digital copy. And you
Right.
have it online.
Well, but what if
I've
you have no internet? Think about it.
I've
Go
got
to McDonald's.
I've got
free Wi-Fi.
Zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse. I'm not going to sit there and eat a
Free
Big
Wi-Fi.
Mac and watch a movie.
You
Or
don't have to
just-
eat the Big Mac.
Or
You
just
go
wait till.
there.
Or,
True.
Or
And the
just
library
wait.
has free Wi-Fi too, bro. That's what your tax dollars are going for.
I'm going to be sitting there watching Infinity War with kids, looking up, God knows what for school. No.
Oh well.
Or just wait till 2020 when we elect Bernie Sanders and he gives us free internet, free college, free healthcare, free everything for I don't know how, but yeah, just
Well,
wait
we're
till
just
then.
going to pay for it.
God
Yeah,
bless
yeah,
Bernie Sanders.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
a good-
What?
God
The guy's
has a
a
good heart.
Yeah,
Has
he has a good heart. Yeah, yeah.
No.
You know who he supports?
Star
Che
Trek?
fucking Guevara. Goddamn
Che
communist.
Guevara. And he doesn't
Bring
say
it
it
back
right.
around.
Folks, he doesn't say it right just to get under people's skin. All right, so don't worry about it.
I thought you were
okay.
going to wear the Chase shirt.
I had thought about it.
No, I love the shirt. He's wearing a shirt of
Ronald Reagan.
which I love.
It's
I'm
Ronald
a
Reagan.
Democrat. I love him.
It's Ronald Reagan
does it say?
doing his best grumpy cat face.
And
Right.
it says, "I smell hippies."
Right. Yeah, he's like this smell under his nose. It's fantastic.
How popular are all the old all long gone Republicans now compared to Trump? Like people who hate Trump. Suddenly Bush doesn't look as bad. Suddenly Reagan's Reagan's
so
great.
you know
That's funny.
You know what's
That's
funny
true.
about the whole thing is what's his name? The Mormon guy. What's his name?
Romney.
Romney. So
The
that
Mormon guy.
Yeah, the Mormon guy.
Right.
Romney. So this dude ran for president against Obama, and this dude, he's not even like a hardcore Republican. He's a Republican. He's a conservative. Whatever.
He had Romney care. Like he's
Like he basically did Obamacare in
Progressive
Massachusetts.
Republican. He's a progressive Republican.
And he is squeaky fucking clean.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's not racist.
No.
He is
one
like,
wife.
one fucking wife.
Right.
Like he is like clean cut America.
Right. and his father too.
runs for president, and all of a sudden he's the biggest racist piece of
Right.
fucking shit.
Racist, sexist.
Yeah, racist, sexist, asshole.
Because he's got
fucking-
files of women. No, because he wanted to be a diversity hiring kind of person. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
And then the response the Republican Party gave afterwards was like, well, if you're going to destroy the nicest, cleanest guy, screw it. We're going to take the guy that's going to punch you in the face, and we get Trump.
And
who
I don't think he's
he's racist.
No, I don't think the Republican
I think
Party
the only color he cares about is green.
Yeah, he's not racist. He's racially insensitive, I think.
Yeah,
That's what I think he is.
He doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't sit there and say, "Oh, these effing blacks or these effing Hispanics." He doesn't care. He just, this is my goal. Get out of the way, and that's the problem. He rubs everyone the wrong way, and that's the problem with Trump. Now, the guys, we can't argue with facts. I'm not a Republican, and I don't even want to talk about this, but
As he talks about it.
as we talk about it, right?
Oh man, I'm so fat.
As
I
of
should not
today-
be eating this cake.
No, that's a typical Cuban thing too. My God, this sucks, and you eat the whole thing. As of this recording, January 5th,
Something like that.
the job report came out. Fantastic growth, and the stock market is up. And the reason it's by the way, when it's up, jobs are down. But when it's up, and their jobs, the economy's great. And folks, I'm Hispanic. I'm sitting here, and I'm going to tell you, we need a wall. It's out of control because it's going to get to a point.
Well-
It's going to get to a point where we're going to have to start paying for those who are here in the country.
You ready?
And I'm a Democrat, and I bleed blue.
You ready for my idea? Instead of building a wall, this is what I say.
Electric fence.
No. We have a natural barrier already in place. We just need to redivert the water back to the Rio Grande, make it a raging river again.
You can't.
And nobody's going to be fucking crossing that motherfucker.
Economy, nope.
And that's
Economy.
and
There's
that's
a lot of people-
2/3 of the fucking border right there.
No, there's
now
too
the
many-
cost of the wall will drop.
Because you got ranchers that depend on the way
Fuck
it is
'em.
now.
And then
Fuck them.
Those are
Fuck 'em.
American ranchers.
Fuck them.
no, but
Fuck 'em.
You heard it
here's-
here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's what's then going to happen. Some family from Honduras is going to come up and be like, and some father's going to throw his kid into the water. Kid's going to die, and somehow it's our fault.
No, oh my God, that's too much.
Absolutely fuck them.
Because that's the caravan. Like some little girl died, which is terrible. Why did her dad bring her that way?
Oh yeah.
Right. So now let's talk about the episode where Worf never took off his clothes. Now
You can suck my bridges. Did you ever see that? It was an episode of Family Guy.
Family Guy was fantastic.
It was
Is fantastic.
it was Picard talking to Riker, and he goes, Riker, if I made fun of Worf, would you join in on that? He goes, yes, I believe I would. Worf, your head looks like a vagina. And they laugh, and line that dies down, and Worf goes, you can all suck my bridges. And it's all the actual voice actors.
Well, do you guys remember Futurama?
Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
absolutely.
I was just talking about that. Like, I still live in constant hope they're going to bring it back on some level.
Well, they did. They came back with
Netflix came back with a couple.
Right.
couple
They've come back
episodes.
3 times. They came back on Fox. Well, left Fox and back to Fox, and then they did really, really fucking well on Cartoon Network. So Comedy Central bought them, and they did like a couple movies that were on Netflix, and they spanned those out into episodes, and then Comedy Central got rid of them. So they've come back. They've come back twice, and I keep hoping they'll come back again.
You know, the problem is it's hard to touch, to me, perfection. I remember the last episode of season, I think it was 4 of Futurama, when it ended, and it was called Where No Fan Has Gone Before. They had the entire cast of the original series on there, and there was a cloud called Melvar, and he was the ultimate
Yes.
fan. Do you remember that? And they
I
remember,
know how to spell Melvar.
Right.
It's 3 R's. I know how to spell Melvar.
He goes. I think I've done enough. Yes, I think you've done enough of these that I
Yeah.
would know how to spell Melvar. That was Sulu.
Yeah. Oh my god! And the only person who didn't come was Spock because
Scotty, and Melvar kept
but-
shooting him, kept hitting him with lightning. It was definitely
Oh yeah,
Scotty.
yeah. Well, because the dude who played Scotty was dead. So
Oh, I think so. Well,
so they had he was called Welshie.
right.
But Leonard
right.
Nimoy didn't come with him into space. He goes, "I'd love to join you, but I just signed a 6-month lease and I can't I can't break that."
I can't break it now. And there used to be heads in jars. remember?
Jars, yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Melvar makes bodies for them. So they didn't want to get out of these bodies. And I remember Kirk, being Kirk, he goes, "Oh, this body feels great." You know? And then when they're fighting,
Look at these ripped abs I've always had.
Yes, he rips his shirt. And then they started fighting, like in the scene where Leah is fighting him, or on the little mountaintop. And at the end, like when all the fighting's over and everybody,
They're hooking up.
they're hooking up. They're having like almost sex, and that's Kirk. I mean, it has to be. You know, there's just no way around it.
Yes, there's fighting going on, but I could also fuck.
Yeah, we can also hit it. You know, Futurama. That was fantastic.
That's also why you're Kirk, by the way.
Thanks.
But see, things like Futurama, if you think about it, would it be around if it wasn't for?
You don't think so?
No,
Absolutely, it would.
If not for what? Wait.
He said if not for Trek, Futurama wouldn't be a thing.
I wouldn't say it's directly correlated, but
No,
it
it would
has
still be there. We
influence.
just wouldn't get certain episodes. That's what Futurama was. It was like all these pop culture shit morphed into one, and they made up their own shit. Have you seen the episode where they? Good news, everyone! The professor makes this. He makes this machine that like that transfers consciousness
Right.
between two people.
Right.
But you can't go back.
Right.
So they had to create an entire other formula to figure out how to get everybody back into their own bodies, and they accidentally created a math equation that never fucking existed. That's how smart that show was.
Right, it was awesome. It was Matt Groening was a fan of Star Trek and stuff like that. It's also because he was a nerd, and he would come up with stuff that people would be like, "Oh my god, that guy's a genius!" Just like Seth, that guy's a genius. Where the people
Seth MacFarlane?
yeah.
Yeah. Like doing the Orville, right?
Oh my god.
I keep hearing
What
that.
about that?
I
You're gonna
keep
tell me-
hearing.
I have-
I keep hearing that's good. I haven't seen it
I
yet.
keep hearing it's amazing. I have not seen
right.
it. I know the second season's just coming out.
No, well, you've got to.
So I haven't-
No, you've got to start from the beginning.
Oh no, I'm not going to watch the second season. I got to watch the first one first.
And you're
Obviously.
probably avoiding it because you want to take time to sit down and watch it, right?
well because I don't have cable.
Oh well, that's yeah. By the way, we're in the
But
middle
you
of an
can torrent.
avocado farm.
I could torrent, but it takes time.
The Orville, and that's by the way, that's part of my beef. The new Star Trek series that's out,
Discovery,
which is on CBS All Access.
which I refuse to pay for.
Thank you.
I absolutely
See,
fucking refuse to
thank
pay
you.
for it.
I've never-
and that is the
I've-
only reason I have not watched it.
Can I press a button? That's so communist.
It's fucking communist. Put up a
That's so
goddamn
Che Guevara.
paywall to fucking. There's some shitty service. Like, how much is it? It's like $7 or $8 a month. I'm not paying $7 or $8 a month
One
to
show.
watch just one fucking show. They should have done a deal with fucking Netflix and sold it over to Netflix and took a cut. Nobody wants to watch their shitty
Or
fucking
how
service.
about just putting it on their Channel 4 and that's it?
Nobody gives a shit because they were
We
trying-
never had to pay for Star Trek before.
Never. And Star
Except
Trek's
for the
one of those
movies,
things-
but-
Shit, right, well, the movies. But that's one of the things that has to be out there. You have to be able to say, it's continuity, man. Since the 60s, we've been able to have Star Trek on television in all its forms. And here we are. Hey, by the way, this new thing is streaming. We're going to jump on the bandwagon, but you got to pay us $7 a month.
Well, so streaming is going to be the new model. The cable's going away. Cable TV's dead. So they need a new model.
dead.
And they want to survive. The CBS, they're like, oh, we'll have a streaming app and we'll survive.
Right.
But the thing is, nobody wants to pay $7 a month to watch their shitty fucking shows.
Right. Look, my buddy
And Discovery
does.
may be great. I haven't seen it,
It's
but I'm not
okay.
paying $7 a month just to watch one fucking show.
My
I'm not
buddy,
doing it.
My buddy's a hard Trek. My buddy Jim, he's a hard Trek Trekker, hardcore, and he pays. So one day I go over to his house and he says, "Let's check it out." And I didn't want to watch it because I don't want to get hooked and then pay. So we sit there. Oh my god! It's going to be horrible.
You have a lot more self-control than I do. I would watch it, get hooked, and be like, I'm not paying for it. Get drunk, and then I pay for it.
That is
Yes. I fucking paid $20 for Venom to own it on Prime. I'm sorry, I own it now. I shouldn't own it. It was half crap. It was decent.
But it's the beer. It's the beer.
Yeah.
Beer owns us, by the way.
Well,
I was drunk. I need it now.
Our friend Paul has been on the show twice, and he pays for
Everything.
All Access just to watch it.
You say, okay, well, there you go.
That's the only show
and
we
He
I'll
pays
tell
for
you,
everything. We borrow some of his...
Yeah, we borrow some of his shit.
Some of his logins, yeah.
everybody's financial situation is different, but this guy,
I just can't
Like my
justify
buddy. No, me
spending
neither.
any money on that.
but it's fantastic. When I watched it, I said, "Oh my god, this is great." And then we had to watch. We were going to go to lunch, and I said, "No, let's go to second episode." And then I said, "Stop." The second episode was okay. I said, "Stop." I don't.
You did watch it, though.
I know, and it's the first time. It's the first time you hear the F word on a Star Trek series, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. But you're watching this stuff and you say, "Shit, I'm going to get hooked," and then you get angry again because I wasn't drunk, and I said, "I'm not going to pay for this. I refuse because it should be one of those things that you should be able to watch." And I understand everybody has to make money. CBS has to make money. Everybody has to make money. You can make money on advertising. There is a market now that J.J. Abrams took the franchise and made it popular.
Or they could just give it to Netflix and take a cut.
and take a cut.
Just like Sony did with Spider-Man to the MCU.
Right.
Take a fucking cut. Then you don't have any production costs, no overhead. You're just literally lending somebody else the material. They're going to do great with it, and you make money doing nothing.
Or put it on your site and just add commercials in. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Look, my kids watch. They stream. My kids have Fire Stick. We have Fire Sticks in every room of the house, and I stream too. But they like to stream their comics, their cartoons. So, like for example, Disney Now is the app.
Yeah.
And while you're watching cartoons with them, put on a cartoon, they have commercials. Nick, the Nick app, Nickelodeon.
It's
has
still
commercials.
around?
Well, yeah, they've got an app with all the kids. My kids.
Do you remember? Do you
Disney
remember?
has a streaming
sorry.
service coming out this year, and I'm really, really excited about it because everything I read says that it is going to be priced around $7 to $10 a month,
Right.
and you're talking about all of the Marvel,
Right.
all the Star Wars,
Right. Yeah.
all of the Disney properties,
Right.
everything, all in one spot.
See, that's
I-
worth
that's-
$7-8 a month.
I'll pay $10 a month.
And I'm going to pay that. I'll pay $20 a month for that.
By the way, that's
because I'm going to
about 20
watch
cents a day.
I'm gonna watch just about everything on there.
Right.
Like I'm interested in all of it. Like
But they own the franchises that we all
Yeah.
love. I mean, that's
Exactly.
and that's another thing
And
I have an issue with.
And we know more stuff is coming out too.
Yeah.
Right.
We know everything that, or we have a pretty good idea of everything that's coming out from Marvel. And we also got shit for Star Wars. We have The Mandalorian coming out.
Yeah.
Super excited about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be hot.
and they
And I
have,
know it's coming. I'll give you $8. I'll give you all my money. Just can I watch everything?
they're gonna have Loki have his own TV series apparently.
That's sick.
And
Yes.
Same actor.
Yeah,
yeah,
he signed on
apparently.
already.
I
Yeah.
love Loki.
Tom
I
Hiddleston?
love Loki, by the way.
Tom Hiddleston, I think it is.
think his name
yeah.
is,
right?
Yeah, he signed on already. He's talked about it.
And-
That guy's great.
and
That's one of
apparently-
my favorites.
And apparently they want to do like a Falcon Bucky kind of series, which
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Fuck it.
supposedly all the
Wow.
ones on
I'll watch
Netflix
it.
that have been canceled are coming back on the Disney service.
But they can't for a couple of years.
But they can for a couple of years.
That's fine. But
Which
eventually-
that's not fine. That actually kind of fucking pisses me off because that's what Netflix like made their name on was they would other places would cancel a series and they would cancel it in time. So hey, if you want to pick this up, go ahead. They help them. Why can't you help what you're letting go of?
Because
Why?
they're also losing all the
Right, it's
all the
money.
good stuff on their
It's all
streaming
about money.
service.
that was their call. They chose to end Daredevil. They chose to end Luke Cage and
Yeah.
Iron Fist. Like that was no one made them do that. They probably could have bled that out for maybe a couple more years before Disney was like, all right,
Bring them home.
yeah.
Yeah.
They could have. Yeah, Luke Cage, by the way, started off strong, but
The second season I thought was great.
I
I
thought it was
loved
good.
it. He became the guy he was fighting.
And that's not a thing that's not an area or a direction they've ever gone in the comics. So that was actually new.
Yeah, that was fun.
that was completely new.
It was fun.
That's one of those things that, yeah, it was okay. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's bad, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. What they should do is
Racist.
come out with a Raven. Yeah, they should come out with a Raven.
A what?
A Raven, Raven.
Raven?
What do you mean?
Teen Titans Go. Raven?
I'm not as up. I know who she is, but
Yeah. Super dark, super
They've got a live
sarcastic.
action Teen Titans going, don't they?
But I think they need to do like a Netflix thing because Raven's awesome. I love Raven. My kids watch it.
I think DC is actually the only area they're doing well in is the live action TV series.
Like
yeah.
the Arrowverse?
Monkey just showed me the first episode of Flash because I watched a bunch of Arrow, but I didn't get into Flash yet. I watched the first
Arrow's
season. I'm
awesome.
like, I gotta finish this.
I think I watched
Arrow's good.
I think I watched like the first 3 seasons of The Flash, 2 or 3. They start getting into the Flashpoint story arc.
Yeah.
And it gets real confusing, but it's really good.
And they have his dad is the dude who played the original Flash series that I
yeah.
fucking grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember? You guys are you guys into any of the Lego movies like Lego
I am.
Flash, Lego Aquaman?
I haven't watched any of them, but I
watched-
I keep hearing I have to.
I watched the Lego movie
I heard the Batman one's like
Often.
really good.
and everything is awesome. Yeah. And then the Batman Lego
It's-
was fucking great.
That was fantastic.
Oh my god.
What about the beginning
Oh my
with the
God.
song?
Oh,
I'm Batman.
It was so fucking good.
have
You
to
have
watch
to, dude. They literally make
It's
fun
like
of
a movie.
every
Yeah.
other Batman movie ever.
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 Right.
Like,
and they've got like all these villains at the beginning that are so crappy 60s and 70s villains, and they have them all, and you're like, damn, there really is an Eggman. Because
Yeah.
you know, somebody said, is there really an Eggman or something like that? He goes, it's maybe worth the Google. And then you know Google must have spiked that day.
Then you go down to Google Hole, and then you got like 20 tabs open, and
Yes,
Yeah, it's-
I know. And Wikipedia, I love Wikipedia. I'm a Wikipedia fan.
do you donate?
Yes, I do. Actually, I do.
See?
I do $10 here and there.
This is why we don't have to force people to give charity.
Here we go.
Anyway,
Here we go.
bring it back around.
Just saying.
So, just to end it in a Star Trek. I don't want to end it, by the way. We could be here for 5 hours. Just to bring it back to Star Trek. What about the video games?
Never played them.
Yep, because they were pretty crappy.
Never played them. Never played them.
There was one that was fantastic.
That, and I was never. I had a Nintendo 64 when it came out.
Wow.
And I had Mario and Donkey Kong Racing, and at one point I got my hands on GoldenEye.
Okay. Yes, that's what made that.
GoldenEye.
That-
Oh yeah.
that's
And then
what
I
made
had
it.
the Ocarina of Time, and past that,
Serena is my opinion.
Okay, whatever. That was the extent of the games I was allowed to play.
Right.
And then-
Ocarina, just to satisfy, Ocarina of Time was fantastic.
Yes, it was. I was great.
Yeah. And GoldenEye was just, it was like real.
Yeah, that was the first
Yeah, shoot 'em up.
multiplayer shoot 'em, like bring your friends over, you guys shoot each other.
First person shooter kind of thing.
Yeah.
And everybody was into it. And
And they had the Donkey Kong cheat code where you like all of a sudden everyone had big heads and shit.
yes.
And then there was the golden gun cheat where everyone all of a sudden had the golden gun, so you're running around one shot killing motherfuckers. Like it was
it was fantastic. We're talking
was
about
great.
Nintendo 64 here out of nowhere. But we were talking about the Star Trek video game series and franchises, and nobody ever played them. I mean, I had them all. Don't get me wrong. I had them all, even the crappy ones. The only one that was worth a damn was Star Trek Armada, which was kind of a StarCraft in space where you build like all these different types of ships and you invade, these other places, or you defend yourself from the Klingons, etc. But the game sucked. There was no really good Star Trek game. Now, Star Wars did it right. They had, they had maybe like 6 or 7 games.
Return of the Jedi on Super Nintendo was fucking child abuse. That was hard, man. Ridiculously fucking hard.
Oh my god! Nintendo 64 had some games that made you cry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Nintendo, the original Nintendo, and I'm a huge fan. I have everything about Nintendo original NES. Made you cry. You're a small child, and this is abuse. As an adult, I can't play them.
Mike Tyson Punch Out. Try beating that.
Holy
good,
crap.
Good fucking luck.
Yeah.
I think I finally did, and I think I lost maybe part of my life. There's some of my soul was gone.
I'll beat it, and I'll tell you how. I downloaded a ROM and an emulator, and you can do something called save state, where you can save at a certain point.
Right.
So when I get to Mike Tyson, anytime I landed a hit, I would save it.
Right.
So because I'm gonna get knocked down the next time. So I basically would just I learned to hit the key so I could come back to that point. It's basically fucking cheating. That's
is,
the only
right,
way I could
but-
beat it.
right.
That was a pain in the fucking ass. So was there's a game that not a lot of people remember called Little Nemo, the Dream Master.
No.
Dude, that game was fucking. I still haven't beaten it.
What
I
console?
hadn't-
What console was it?
NES.
Bomberman?
Bomberman, Castlevania.
Castlevania, yeah.
Castlevania was at least hard, challenging, but doable. Was it Ghost in the Graveyard or Ghouls and Goblins?
There was Ghosts and Goblins.
That one, oh my god, 2 hits and you're fucking dead. What the
It was horrible.
fuck?
They would hit you, your armor would fall off. So
Yeah.
you're running around in your underwear. And I understand you got to keep fighting for your life, no matter if you're naked or not.
You have an infinite number of javelins though, or
Yeah.
or
Or
whatever
like,
that is.
what was that? It's like some kind of stick.
Lance.
Lances. You're correct.
There we go.
How
It was
about
ridiculous. And every time you would die, it would show you the rest of the map you're never going to get to. Like, fuck you, man.
I know. It's like, oh, you still have to go all the way here.
What was the tank game? Tanks? I think it might have been something called Tanks.
I don't know.
Are you talking about Atari 2600 Combat?
No.
Because I'm old.
No. We know you're old.
That shit was awesome.
No. There was a game on Nintendo. It was Tanks. Because my uncle brought me this bootleg cartridge when I was a little kid,
Right.
and it had 100 games on it.
Oh, yes, the multi-cartridges. Yes,
Yeah. It had 150 games, shit you weren't supposed to have.
Yeah, but there was a lot of games that were really crappy, and then
Yes.
some were okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about there was a couple multi-carts. I think there was one called Multi 64. It had 64 games, Multi 100 or something like that. I can't remember the
No,
name.
this was old school NES game.
Yes.
The one you shove it in and yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it
What a
had
piece of- what a crappy way to do things, but my God.
it had
If you think back.
I just remember it
how
had
much more
Mario
fun it
1,
was.
2 and 3 on that bad boy. And then all the Bombermans, and there was one that's called Tanks that I really liked. Me and my brother used to play all the time. It was 1 or 2 player.
What about Metroid?
And ooh,
Oh my god, that was
yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It was 99 levels. Oh my God.
I
Other
wasn't-
brain.
And I honestly, I've never played anything past the ones that came on Game Boy because then it became 3D. I'm like, no, this is this is the true side scroll. This is what it should be because it wasn't just side scroller. It was these massive fucking maps.
And the 3D was hard to play and just to
I
watch.
didn't- yeah.
Well, it's funny you say
Until
that
Golden.
because my little nephew, so he's only played 3D games, and he's 5 or 6 now. So he's only used to 3D games. So he comes over to the house and he's like, "Let's play some video games." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, I got the old NES, right? The little emulator box.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
so we busted out. I'm like, "Let's play Mario." So he wants to play Mario. So we bust out Mario 3, right? The side scroll fucks him up. He cannot do it. It just blows his goddamn mind.
oh, Loans did that. Remember?
Because he's used to this 3D world. So
Right.
every time he's running, he's like, "I stopped. Why does it keep going?"
I have 3 kids, and they're all young. Oops. And I'll tell you this: since they were young, I would play on my emulator, and I have an actual NES and all that, and the 2600. And to this day, my son will play the new stuff, but he will sit down and throw it down Super Mario, and he loves it. I think it's from the beginning. You've got to have it from the beginning because it's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
the 2D stuff is if you got 3D and you're growing up with 3D and your iPhone all day. Some of these kids.
The 2D world just blew his mind. He couldn't handle it. It was.
We had Loans on, and Loans' roommate has kids, and he told him, I will buy you any game, any price, 50, 60, 70 bucks. I'll buy you any game you want if you can get through like one level of Super Mario Bros. And he couldn't fucking do it.
Yeah, it's
Because it's so, and I can do it to this day blindfolded. I know where all the vines are.
Yes.
I can still do that shit.
Or the hidden warp worlds. It's fantastic. Those are the good times. I mean, and by the way, just to try to get this back to Star Trek, which apparently is not working, we have
Never come into a plan on this podcast. We don't.
It's a mistake. I even brought books, ladies and gentlemen. There's 3 books, encyclopedia like Bibles, on this table.
Were you?
No, I just
Were
wanted
you going to
bring-
preach to us?
Were you gonna
I
do a
wanted-
filibuster?
No, I wanted to do a filibuster. Scene. Horrible. No, I wanted to show you guys how things change. I mean, you can't. The whole point of Star Trek was for it to not stop. And like, for example, I'm holding the Star Trek Encyclopedia, so a reference guide to the future, and it's the second edition. It says just added 128 pages of the latest Star Trek info, and this is already outdated because it doesn't stop. By the way, FYI, who buys books anymore? You got to be a real fan. And by the way, these are always in the bathroom. That's why they look wet. So it doesn't end. It's always updating.
I would actually read that bullshitting. I would totally dive into that.
I would.
And,
yeah.
and the beautiful thing of it, encyclopedia, you can just jump into any page. It just talks about the random stuff and it shows pictures of all sorts of stuff. But the point is,
For those of you who don't know what books are, this is the Wikipedia but with pages. No, real physical
Made of
pages.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. My friend Jason Brown, we were helping him move, and he had this big bookcase. And me and Jason Hanselman are there helping him move this bookcase, and it was like the heaviest fucking.
I've tried to get him into Kindles.
It was
something.
it was a fucking solid oak thing. Like this thing was massive,
can you guys do?
And all-
Yeah, go ahead.
and all 3 of us were fucking lifting this thing up and struggling. And
Did you
we put
empty
it-
it? Did you empty it?
oh yeah, no, it was empty. It's fucking empty. We put it down halfway, and we're like, dude, what are you gonna do with this fucking thing? And he had just had a son, and he's like, oh, it's for my son. We're gonna keep it, and we're gonna put all his books in there. And me being a jackass, I look, I'm like, how many Kindles are you gonna buy him?
To be fair, it's full of it's half full like figurines too now. So
And he was like,
That's awesome.
and he's like, he's gonna have real goddamn books.
It's funny.
right.
In my office at my house, I have shelves with my old toys: GI Joe, the originals, Kenner, Star Wars toys, all that stuff up there. And when I had a bookshelf, it was full of figures. And then, of course, I have thick books like this, But if you really think about it, and I can't get into Kindle or anything, I just can't get used to sitting there with a pad to read. I have to read this till I fall asleep. Print is dead.
I told you, physical media is dead.
dead.
All physical media is dead.
And it's the way we're raising the children today. I mean,
You know-
again,
you know-
I have
you know
small
why-
children. They
you know
don't
why-
what books are unless they go to the library. I mean, it's all on the computer.
You know why physical media is dead? Because of porn. No, I'm dead serious. You know why laser discs never took off? Because porn never bought laser discs. They never went that route.
they had this conversation on Tropic Thunder.
Which is why they went into
The movie.
DVDs. Porn leads the industry and everything.
Thunder, wow.
How long has porn been streaming?
I don't know.
They led.
Since we were downloading GIF images of like a girl sucking off a guy,
Yeah.
that took you 8 hours to get
So
that one GIF
they-
image.
they-
Binary images was all ones and zeros.
Yeah,
No, that's me.
But they perfected the streaming, and the rest of the industry went,
And it's
okay,
fr-
we can get on that now.
and it's free.
Yeah.
right. Well, now, yeah, that's another thing. I mean, can you believe? See, I don't understand that either. How are there still XXX stores around? I mean, who goes in?
They're selling toys and lingerie,
Is that what it is?
and they're not even really selling them out of the storefront. They have online stores, and that's where they're selling it.
it's
So like,
just to have a
there's like an Amazon of porn stores.
yeah.
Like Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve sells their own products, but they also have distributors that they use that have places, for shipping times or whatever. But that's how they make it. Same thing with selling flowers. Like if you send flowers to somebody online, you may be going to this brand of store online, but that they have
a
no
local-
actual storefronts.
it's an actual local-
These local places all sign up to be part of this community
But that's
deal. And
but that's kind of sad because there was nothing more fun than turning 18 and walking into a porn site for the first time. Like
Yeah.
it's like the last rite of man passage.
But do you remember walking in for the first time? It was like
I'll never forget it. I walk in and this dude is watching German subtitles of
Hamlet or something?
Hamlet, of Hamlet, and we're like, he's surrounded by porn, and we're like, why are you watching that, not porn? He goes, because I want to watch a good movie.
right. He wants an actual storyline. I remember walking in for the first time, and it was paranoia everywhere. It just feel like so uncomfortable. There's a guy behind the counter. He's looking at you up and down, and you're trying not to look at anybody. Actually, no. Let me rewind. I remember my first time going to my local video rental. This is before.
And you went past the bead
the
curtains.
little curtain. Right?
See, I missed those. I never got to see those. That's
Wow,
a bit like
it was fantastic. It was because it was a dark. It was
Well,
like a closet.
Blockbuster didn't have them. I don't think.
And I
No,
only
no.
went to Blockbuster. That's
No,
why.
no, no.
So I used to go to Oceanic Video up here on Marlin and US 1. They had an Oceanic Video. It was a mom and pop video rental place, and they had the little curtain there that was made of beads, and there was a sign above it, 18 years only.
Right.
And you go back there, and it was real dim lit and shit. Like
Right. Well, the one I used to go to, my fear was the guy would call out, like just walking into the curtain, and the guy would be like, "Hey, you're not 18." Walked in there, and it was dark, and there was a mop in there. I'll never forget. It was a closet. It was a mop. That's where the guy put the mop, and then there was the adult movies, right? And it was like really bad, really big, cases. And you were like, "Man, what do I choose? What do I choose?" So you picked whatever, and then you walk out, and then the other fear was that there was going to be a family standing right there while you're walking out with Mandingo version 4, and you go up to the counter, and then the
Judging you.
guy, yeah,
Go on.
yes, you're correct. Walking up to the counter, giving it to the guy, and then the guy finds the movie behind you, and then the guy would just look you up and down like and you wanted to tell the guy, "What the hell, man?
You work
You're
here.
Yeah, I know.
How dare you judge me?
I know. And you're making the money off this. Come on."
So I got how many cons have you been to?
I want to say about six, and most of them in Miami and Orlando, and one in Vegas.
Nice.
That was out of control. It was out of control, and I'll tell you why. I'm older
Vegas.
than you guys.
Yeah, right?
Number one, Vegas. I know. Number two, I'm older than you guys, so when I went, it wasn't as crowded because I hear now that the lines are out of control. But you would go and you would sign up at the door for the conferences that you wanted to be part of, like in other words, the speeches or whatever,
Talks or whatever. Yeah,
Talks,
yeah.
It wasn't all Trek. I went to a Comic Con, and I signed up for. This is a long time ago for Jack Kirby. He used to draw a lot of the Captain Americas. So I signed up for that, and I was walking around. A lot of booths were old comics. You just walk through go through
Yeah.
the boxes, and I didn't know this. But you don't buy the comics the first day when you get there because everything is full price. You wait until the end when they got to get rid of this crap because they don't want to ship it back, and you get it 80%. So I'm buying
That's
all
what I
this
do
crap.
at gun shows.
We should- well-
You wait till Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you get a gun for free or something?
No.
See,
well, I'm
I-
white, so I get a really good deal.
Here we go.
And a veteran.
And a veteran. You walk
Oh,
in,
my
dude.
goodness.
You walk into a gun show with me, we get you a good deal.
Fantastic. I already have two. I don't need it.
2.
Yeah. What else do you need? I mean, come on.
How many calibers is that?
The zombie apocalypse. No, well, the zombie apocalypse.
Are
I'm
we going
ready.
to take him shooting too?
You want to go shooting?
Oh my god! No, I'm old. I've done all that. Past that. Now I'm worried that it's.
This isn't
secure
a
enough.
threesome. This is gun shooting. This is a different thing. You can do this. We'll clear it with your wife.
Oh my god!
Actually, I asked my mom. She said it was okay.
It's oh my god. Anyway, all right, back to what we were talking about. Jeez. And the more beer we drink, obviously the worse it gets. So I get there, and then we get to the Jack Kirby thing, and we get in there, and I sit down, and there's like a small, little conference room, and he's up there, everybody's applauding, and he starts talking, and his mic breaks. So he starts yelling, having to yell because there's so many people in the room for anybody to hear him. And after a while, we had no idea what he was talking about. So I couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. Finally, the thing ends, and everybody's going up there to get him to sign something. And I had never forget, I still have it, a Captain America, I think it was issue 300, where he kills a Red Skull.
Okay.
And of course, he comes back and all that
Yeah.
crap. You
Comic
can't-
books.
Yeah, you can't kill
They don't
him.
die.
Yeah, nobody dies. So I'm up there. Well, there's a guy that died. I never forget. His name was D-Man, which was like a Wolverine wannabe. But anyway, I get up there, and he's going to sign it, and he's all sweating because the thing is hot. It's really hot in there. The guy goes to sign, and he says, so, what do you like? I said, Captain America. Obviously, you're signing Captain America. He says, that's fantastic. What else do you like? I said, oh, mostly Captain America. Heathcliff. I like Heathcliff, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Oh,
I
this is an
know.
old reference.
I know. Remember Heathcliff? Oh,
Nice name drop.
I had Heathcliff pajamas like as a 4-year-old.
fantastic.
I've got pictures somewhere.
Yeah. I know. I
But
still
he
have.
was, he was like a Garfield ripoff, but actually funny.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? Everybody thinks it's a Garfield ripoff. He
Did he
was
come
around.
first?
Yes. From years.
I think I knew that actually.
Yeah. Garfield came after. But anyway, I remember, and he goes to me, he looks at me and he says, Heathcliff, really? And he didn't want to sign it at that point. I said,
You insulted him.
yes. I go, but come on, it's Captain America. Fine. And he signs it. And I'm like, what an asshole. I hated him after that. So then anyway, the last day we're leaving.
Did you organize a boycott against Captain America at that point?
No. I'm a huge fan.
You know they have Captain Mexico too.
Are you really? What a jerk. And I fell for it.
Yeah, his name is Monkey. As a friend of ours who's Mexican, but he's a huge Captain America fan, which is just really ironically funny to us.
You know,
He's got the shield and everything.
Yeah, he does.
we own what used to be Mexico. If you think about it, Texas.
No. That's America.
Oh, here we go.
It doesn't get much more American than
Here
that.
we go.
One of my favorite progressive memes was the fact that Cap's costume looks like the Puerto Rican flag, and it says, "Isn't it funny that that Captain America is based off of the Puerto Rican flag? Isn't it funny Captain America was around before Puerto Rico was a thing?"
Right.
Like, no, you actually copied him.
Right. Well, and there was a time that Captain America became U.S. agent.
Yeah,
Yes.
Remember?
yeah,
yes.
because he was
Yeah. And, well,
And the Nomad
He
and-
named himself the Captain because he had a different uniform. And then U.S. agent was the guy hired by the government. So he was the captain, and there was U.S. agent. So the flag changed, obviously. Then
Yeah.
when he got back into the uniform, went right back to the old, flag. And everybody was hoping that he'd keep the captain uniform because it was badass. I still have those comics. Those were fantastic. And by the way, back to Star Trek, the comics were horrible. I still have a few of them, but just the storylines were horrible. And a lot of people attribute that to the fact that in the print, like there's 1,000 books that are fantastic, but they're fan.
They're fan written.
Well, a lot of them are, they're written by a lot of the publishers that were publishing books back then, but they're still they're driven for the fans. It's not canon. In other words, the movies are canon.
I can see
Yeah.
there being good Star Trek books though, because you can make a good novel out of that.
Hell yes.
Comic, no. Novel, yes.
yes.
Star Wars had some really great books that I read.
Yeah.
That, of course, all non-canon, but they were fucking great.
But look what they're doing now. A lot of the stuff they do now in Star Wars.
They're borrowing it. They're kind of merging.
All the fan stuff. Yeah.
I know you hate The Force Unleashed or don't like it, but The Force
Really?
The Force Awakens.
Yeah, sorry.
It was a fucking terrible movie.
Yeah, I'm leaving
It was
now.
trash.
It was a pleasure being here. Really?
The Force Awakens was
no,
trash.
it was
I'm going to ignore you now.
it was a good amalgam of what
It was trash.
I've had so
It was a
many.
good amalgam of trash. Okay, I'm done now.
Okay.
I can't disconnect this mic.
No,
It's too far.
No. He has the god power. I don't know why we let him have that, but in retrospect, maybe we should have like 2 keys we turn. No, but I had so many conversations with my Star Wars nerds friends about what the Force Awakens would be and where it would go, and one of the main things we discussed what would Luke become? Because if you look at his two,
Now, The Last Jedi was fucking phenomenal.
It was.
That was amazing.
I did like
yeah.
it. But wait a minute. Go ahead. Because
So-
I think I know where he's going, and I'm going to...
So-
maybe we'll turn you.
so we were.
I doubt it.
No.
No.
doubt it.
I've already tried on him, but I did tell him because he didn't like Force Awakens. I said, let's wait for the next one. He loved the next one, so. Like and I'll still tell you now. Let's wait for the third one, and then I'll watch them all together and see how it all fits together.
Right.
Well,
But
this is-
that's what you
so-
got to remember. These things have to fit together.
No, okay.
It's not
so
standalone.
the first one, there was some.
A New Hope is cheesy as fuck, dude. Then add in The Empire Strikes Back, then it gets dark. Like,
There was some. Well, A New Hope was great because it was a whole new concept. It was fresh. You didn't know where you were going. You had no expectations, and you were just there. And I feel like Force Awakens was just a lot of fan service and a lot of, hey, look, it's a thing.
it was partial fan service,
was like-
and it was partially taking some risk.
There was no risk in that. There was
Phantom
no-
Menace took risk.
There was
People
no risk
when
there.
it came out, they loved it, then they hated it.
There was no risk in that movie. What risk was there in that movie?
Really? Jar Jar Binks?
Okay, Jar Jar Binks was a fucking just a bad goddamn idea, but he wasn't in Force Awakens. But what about Force Awakens was a risk?
A no-name female character out of nowhere.
That is a huge
Now some of that might be pushing diversity, but that hasn't been done. That hasn't. It's not been done a lot.
But be honest, you couldn't wait to see where they were going with her.
I wanted to see what was
Come
going on. I wanted to see what was going on. But the thing that I really liked about that one, which carried over to the next movie stupendously,
Fucking Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Fucking Kylo Ren.
From his story arc so far, from Force Awakens to the end of The Last Jedi,
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal.
And
Like,
why do you think what's your opinion on why he took off? Is it because
It was written by Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote.
Lawrence Kasdan is the best.
Yeah, who wrote Empire Strikes Back. He's the one that Lucas wanted Vader to like have a brother and live in a castle, and Kazan comes in and goes, "All right, let me make sense of this shit."
Right.
And he wrote Kylo Ren, so that's why it's so good. Because he got to have a Vader that was young, and he gets to flesh him out. And I think of Kylo as like hashtag believable Vader.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I say. All we've had are Siths. We've had Darth this
Yes.
and Darth that, and here comes Kylo Ren. A Darth that's not a Darth.
He's not a Sith.
It's not
He's-
following the Sith rules,
There you go.
except for killing your master, because they're actually supposed to do that.
There's always
Yeah.
that, but he's not the typical.
Yeah.
And he's not hampered by. He's not hampered or.
He's got his own personality almost. It's almost like a Borg. Just to bring it around. He's almost like a Borg that's a little bit disconnected from the hive.
He's
He's
got
a Borg that has fucking temper tantrums and destroys shit. He's
There
got
you go.
Borgs that like he's like a Borg that like kind of goes off on occasion.
and that's perfect. His anger outbursts are beautiful because that
He's a
shows
young guy. Yeah.
One, he's a young guy, and two, that fuels the dark side of the Force, which
Yeah.
is obviously what he's about.
That's supposed. Yeah, that's how
So
it works.
It's supposed to be that way.
Full of midichlorians. What is it? Midichlorians?
Metachlorians.
Bless you.
That's too many.
Bless you.
Thank you.
But
Too many
no,
careers.
I can't wait. Okay, so he needs to be an unstoppable force in the next movie.
It's going to be tough.
I need to see him
Gotta
use
kill off
Force.
the bad guy.
I need to see him use
You
Force
may-
lightning.
You may not have to.
I think there's going to be a Kylo Ren Jr.
I don't think so. Because that means someone's gonna.
You have to continue this guy.
No. This is supposed to be the last one of the Skywalker family.
I don't know.
Supposedly-
I don't think so.
Supposedly they're gonna do. Well, they're gonna do more movies, but this is gonna be the end of the Skywalker saga.
I don't think so. I think he's going to come up somewhere. They may do 1 or 2 or 3 standalones that'll tie together somewhere in the future.
or they'll hand it off to the comics and books. You guys have fun with it, but
That's true.
Yeah.
on the screen, maybe we're done.
Maybe.
But he's the best part of the new stuff. Which, but overall, the Last Jedi was amazing. Force Awakens, I was thoroughly disappointed. It was like, it felt like so cheap and shitty. Like, oh, we have a Mega Death Star now. Like, wait, what? Why?
I liked
Why
it.
are we doing this again?
Yeah, yes. It kind
Fuck.
of retreaded A New Hope because history repeats itself.
You have to. Yes, and by the way, we fans don't feel comfortable unless we have some kind of tie-in to what we're comfortable with. You have to go back to the past. You can't just do some new thing because it's kind of uncomfortable. Just like when you can't kill off somebody in a series, it's uncomfortable. We want the same shit. We want There's an episode of Futurama where Fry says, "I know television." When he was arguing when the aliens came and they wanted to see Alec McBeal.
Yes,
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
And they were like, and then she gets up and she goes, "I'm marrying the judge." And then we're cutting to a commercial and Fry goes, "Are you stupid? I know what TV is. TV is the fans want the same shit every month."
We don't want new turns. That makes us uncomfortable.
That is correct. We want the same crap. Now, not to say, 'cause I'm not going to fall into your trap, that it's the same. It's not the same shit. But you want to tie into the stuff that you feel comfortable with. That's why. Uncomfortable lol.
And
I'm
they,
good with uncomfort.
And they sort of
Give me the discomfort.
Yeah,
which
that's true.
which Last Jedi was nothing comfortable.
No,
It was
We had no idea
start
what the
to
fuck
finish
was going to happen.
Unknown.
I thought Leia
that was awesome.
And I loved it. It was
thought Leia,
beautiful.
I thought Leia was dead in the first 20 minutes. Like because Carrie Fisher died. I'm like, oh, that's how you gonna kill her off? Nope, bitch. You use force powers. There you go.
Like that movie was great. I feel like there was no fan service in there, and it was a fucking ride.
It was a ride. And then it brought us right into, season 4,
And then-
episode 4. New Hope.
And then they killed some of their old tropes of like these renegade people going out trying to save the day. No, you fucking lost. No,
Yeah.
we had a plan the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
And just to bring it back, there wouldn't be any Star Wars without Star Trek. 'Cause think about what Lucas said. In one of the interviews he did in like in the 90s or the 80s. He said, or the 90s, I don't remember. Before the internet, he said what molded him were the sci-fi movies of the 50s, which, really that's where it all started, and the books. And Star Trek had an effect on him. I mean, you have to look at it and say, yeah, this is the first wagon train to the stars. Here comes Star Wars, an epic saga like the original Flash. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
In the 80s, yes. Very cheesy, but still watchable.
Yeah.
Had an effect where, I'm talking about the Flash from Flash Gordon from like the 40s and 50s. It had an effect. And
Yeah.
yeah. No. So, but all this is tied in. I mean, and when Star Trek was born, Gene Roddenberry wrote it. He wasn't writing. Remember, he wrote a lot of screenplays before Star Trek. He wrote T.J. Hooker, later for Kirk.
Yeah.
Which was just Kirk playing a cop. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Same Kirk. You're absolutely correct. But before that, he wrote a lot of screenplays. I think it was Bonanza and things like that. When he wrote this, it was a departure from what he was used to writing, but it came from his background of the old 50s movies. And we have to look at that. A buddy of mine is, a huge fanatic, and he turned me on to it. There's a podcast, by the way, called Monster Party. And they're always talking about these old movies, and they make fun of them, etc. But a lot of them were good. And they came up with concepts that we weren't used to, like, for example, go to Mars. Now you have a rover on Mars.
We have two.
Yeah.
One of them's dead.
And there's a flyby.
Died? It died?
One died.
Did it?
Aw.
Yeah.
Wait,
Or it got stuck?
which one? Curiosity?
I think Curiosity's still going. One of the first one died, I think. I don't know. It's like years
What was
past
the first one?
It's years past its mission.
Was it
There's
Discovery? No.
Curiosity, and I think it was Discovery or something like that. There's two of them. There's only one now.
Oh.
Challenger blew up. No, man, that's different.
That's right. I forget that.
Jesus.
And
Reagan was there.
And Voyager left our solar system.
Yeah.
That's correct. And it passed.
Voyager 2 just recently left the solar system as well.
Did it?
It's
Yeah.
going into the expanse. There's a
The Oort
there's a-
cloud.
oh, yeah, correct. The Oort cloud. There's
I know.
a separation. He Googled that, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't Google shit.
He Googled it.
Did they tell you? Okay, so did they tell you about the binary theory for our solar system?
No.
So the majority of star systems we found are binary at a minimum.
Okay.
Single star systems are extremely rare, actually, as it turns out. And so
Wouldn't that make life almost impossible? Because then you'd have heat here, heat there.
it's
No,
it's-
you would have different life.
you have habitable zones, and you would have different life as we know it. Maybe not carbon based. Who knows? But so
That's a theory, by the way, still.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. It's either carbon or silicon based.
yes. So right now, we have these mass extinction events, right?
Right.
And they go back in time, and they happen like every 75 million years. We have this mass extinction event.
Right.
And they always trace it back to some meteor. Some giant asteroid comes and hits the planet and destroys everything, right? So they're wondering what's shifting gravity in the solar system to push these rocks out of whatever orbit they're in out in the middle of nowhere to slam in. So the theory is that there is a white dwarf right outside of the Oort cloud.
Would it
It's
be
because it's not bright, because it's super small. The light it is sending is blocked by the Oort cloud and the rest of the bodies in the solar system, and that it's on an elliptical orbit.
in the Oort cloud?
Yes,
Or past it?
past it. Like we might be a giant binary system, but because it's so small, its gravity isn't that effective. So that's why the planets are revolving around the sun versus this other
Right.
white dwarf that's
But
tiny.
Wouldn't it,
So-
over billions of years, be pulling us towards it, or no?
Well, it's on an elliptical orbit with the rest of the system. So the idea is that we might be that, and that every 75 million years it completes a rotation and comes close to the Oort cloud, kicks things out of its normal orbit, and sends them into the main part of the solar system, bombarding the planets. And
Right.
that's the theory right now. But we don't know because we don't have enough shit out there to check it out. But
We don't have much of anything out there.
we got Voyager and Voyager 2.
But the Space Force is on the way.
Yes, it is. Thank God.
Fantastic.
I find it fucking hysterical that people are freaking out. Like, Space Force. I was in the Air Force. We were talking about having a Space Force when I was in basic training under Bush. Like that's been a planned thing.
Guys, I'm old. I remember when Reagan said, "Hey, we got Star Wars coming," and it was
The Star Wars program, yeah.
right. It was satellites shooting ICBMs that would be coming from Russia,
Which apparently
And-
is not feasible still, but
right. But it was badass at the time, and he sold it like shit was real, man. I mean, it was real.
It was a giant propaganda campaign
It
to
was
freak out the
fantastic.
Russians.
Yes, and the Russians said, "Fuck this. We don't have the money. No more money. Let's just get out of this race."
He crushed them. It was beautiful.
He did. And then
actually, he didn't so much as crush them as just wait for them to collapse under their own fucking weight.
he started an arms race that he knew the Russians
Couldn't keep up with.
afford, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here comes Bush at the end, and he oversaw everything. Let me tell you, not because he just died, because we always get sentimental when somebody dies, or looking back and saying what a great president, like you were saying earlier.
Like John McCain, all of a sudden when he was running for president, he's a racist. Now that he's dead. I love him.
He's the best.
He's an American hero.
Yeah. 6 years ago, they called him a fucking racist, and they're like,
Yeah.
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 They were calling him Gimpy or something. Bush 41 was fantastic. He knew not to gloat when the Russian
W?
empire fell. Yeah. 41. Bush 41, 43. Bush 41 knew not to gloat when the Russian empire fell because then he knew that there'd be, a coup. The military would take over and then we wouldn't have what we had. He knew to keep it low key. It fell, and everybody said, "Man, come on! We should be celebrating. We're like, the leader of the free world. The Russian Empire is collapsing, and you're not gloating." He said, "Of course not. You can't gloat because they would have the military would have just taken over. They would have killed Gorbachev. They would have gotten him out of the way, and they would have just maintained what they had." So he just kept low key. Hey, let's help you in this transition. It started with Poland, then Romania, and all these other places, or Czechoslovakia. It's the beer. And if it wasn't for Bush 41, at the right place, at the right time, the right president for the right times, we probably wouldn't have what we had today. Then we had Clinton, fantastic, the best president ever. Who?
Wait. Whoa.
My car's still on. I have to jump in.
So do you know who's responsible for the housing collapse 2008?
Yeah.
Okay, just a
Wait, you know who's
Let's
responsible?
rewind.
You know who's responsible for that, right?
But you know who's responsible for the financial
Wait.
collapse that cost Bush 41 his second term? Reagan.
You know,
Reagan destroyed the economy.
Wait. You want to know who's responsible for Al Qaeda?
Go ahead.
You want to know who's responsible for Al Qaeda?
Bush 43.
No.
Bush 44.
No.
Bush 45.
Osama bin Laden is a direct result of Clinton. He's absolutely a direct result of Clinton. Absolutely.
Why is that?
Clinton knew he was a threat. His administration knew about him by name. Knew he was on some fucking bullshit jihad, and they ignored him. They let him grow power, sit over there, and get strong.
Think about it. Who would have thought that this guy in the middle of the Afghanistan desert would
They knew he had goals to come over here and attack us over here
They
on
all
ground.
have goals to come over here. There's no way for them to make it.
He had the resources, though, and we knew
the
about
flight
it.
alone is like $2,000.
We knew he had the resources to pull that off, and we ignored him.
No.
Yes, absolutely. That's what happened. You go read about it. Seriously. Clinton ignored him. And then when Clinton left office, before he left office, he wanted to be known as this big, conservationist.
Right.
So he wanted to have that legacy. So he pushed this big bill expanding national parks and all this bullshit. And the Republicans said, "We'll give it to you, but you need to deregulate all the banks." And he said, "Okay, fuck it." And then and that's where they started getting the subprime loans.
Not at
yes,
all.
that's exactly what fucking happened.
He had to compromise, and it was a Republican idea.
All he had to do, all he had to do was not fucking give up the fucking parks. The parks were not worth it.
No, it wasn't just the parks. That's
what it was.
He was trying to get.
It was an omnibus with parks and fucking this bullshit.
He expanded Medicare as well.
So did fucking Bush.
No.
Yes.
But
Yes.
not
And
that he
prescription
did-
drugs and all that bullshit.
Well,
yeah, he did.
Bush didn't get as much credit as he should have. Bush 43 because he had to eat the 9/11.
Yes.
If it wasn't for 9/11, I don't think Bush would have gotten the bad rap he got.
He got a bad rap because
The economy went to shit because he was dealing with what? 9/11. You have to give him that. The economy wouldn't have dumped the way it was. He put the war on the credit card. Let's face reality. He wanted to go after Osama bin Laden and the son of bitches that did in the 9/11, and he put that war on the credit card. We had no money. Had it not been for 9/11, Bush wouldn't be vilified today. He would have been looked on history as a better president. Problem is, he had no choice. Had he not gone after Osama bin Laden, it would have been worse. It would have been worse off. Thank you. Anyway, back to Trek. My God.
I'm just saying.
It's not even, by the way, it's not around back to Trek. It's like an elliptical orbit of this other sun.
Yeah.
Because it's like we think we're close, and then all of a sudden we get flung out to the freaking politics.
I'm just saying, man. Just saying.
Just to put history in perspective. Reagan was probably the best president we've had in
who?
Reagan.
Really?
Well, a lot of people say he didn't bring the country together. I think he did. He tanked the economy to try to drive the Russians to bankruptcy, which he did. Bush took the rap for his economy, but then he passed
Bush 41.
Then he passed financial reforms. He raised taxes and all that, which cost him his second election. And Clinton reaped.
Read my lips.
Well, right, correct. That cost him because
he said that
had
Bush,
to.
yeah.
But he had.
Yeah, he had to. I know.
He knew what was best for the country. Then Clinton took credit for that awesome economy that Bush started. Had Bush won a second term, he would have taken credit for it.
You want to know why there was an awesome economy under Clinton? It had nothing to do with Bush.
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'll lend you a documentary.
No.
Yes.
No.
They unleashed the banks on us.
Exactly. What happened was
No, but you're talking
No,
about
no, we had a
You're talking about Clinton's second term.
we had a massive brand new invention that came out
Called credit card?
And it was completely unfucking regulated,
ahead.
and people were making fucking money on it.
Talking about mortgages.
No, I'm talking about the fucking internet. You had a brand new marketplace of limitless expansion.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
Al Gore invented it.
Yeah, we know. He keeps telling us.
I know.
And he also invented clean energy too. Fucking faggot. And the world's gonna fucking come to an end because the ice caps are gonna melt.
I love
And that's
Al.
why he lives on the fucking waterfront right now.
I love Al.
You wanna hear something funny?
No.
I'll never forget
No,
this.
he said no. He said no.
Well, he's gonna hear it anyway.
Because it's not funny, folks.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. This is the funny part. Because he's always preaching about everyone's always freaked out about the water levels are gonna rise, ocean seas are gonna rise. They're not gonna rise. You wanna know why? Density levels.
It's like a science show packed in a Star Trek episode, packed in a Star Wars episode, packed in a Trump speech.
and a commercial for Schnebley's wine.
And Schnebley's wine.
One of probably the best tasting wines I've had.
Their lychee one is their most sought after wine, and on Friday nights they have $15 prime rib night.
So not that
They also have
Really?
Miami Brewing there. They have an entire brewery in the back. They have
yeah.
asshole pool tables. The lychee mead is fucking fire.
talk to me about that. You talked to me. You told me that the other day. Go ahead.
The lychee mead is fucking fire.
Yeah, but don't try it last because that shit's strong.
Yeah, that shit'll come. They'll sneak up on you real quick.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's
How do you
mean.
think they make that? It's incredible, isn't it? It's like a
They
secret.
they brew it, with lychees.
They brew their own stuff there.
Yeah.
It's leeching honey and something because mead is honey, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. That's science. I don't know.
know. I'm at a Viking.
No,
Oh, that's what they drank.
I thought.
I know that because I watched the 13 Warrior with fuck, I forgot his name. Never mind.
Antonio Banderas.
Thank you.
Antonio Banderas.
It's
One
a
of them.
shit movie, but I love it.
I know,
It was
but still.
hilarious.
That-
have you-
I still like that movie. I mean,
I do too.
Yeah. Have you seen Norseman?
That could have been a series.
Have you seen Norseman
No.
on Netflix?
No.
It's all the advertisement and like the posters and stuff. It looks like a serious movie or a serious TV show. It's not. It is a old school like British dry humor
Oh,
thing.
I have seen that. Yeah. it's
Oh
fun.
my god, it is so fucking good.
British dry humor.
It is so fucking.
We
Like,
can talk about that in a whole episode.
it is so fucking good. You need to watch the Norseman.
It's ridiculous.
It's pretty phenomenal.
Have you guys watched The Monkey King on Netflix?
Yes.
The Monkey King?
Yeah, I watched
They
it.
only did one series.
Yeah, I watched it.
I love that shit.
It was all right.
My kids are watching. When I left to come here, my older son was watching the third episode. It's fantastic.
My wife liked it, so we watched the whole thing.
It was good.
Yeah.
I wish they made.
What's it about?
The Monkey King.
The Monkey. That's something. Well, that's something.
I got that from the title.
I know. Hello. That actually came. That's actually a Chinese epic. There's actually a Monkey King that lived on a mountain.
Did he deregulate the banks like Clinton?
Here we go. Folks, I was trying to drag him out of there, and it didn't work.
Good luck.
They basically took this monkey or this guy who's an immortal, and they call him the Monkey King, and
Because he's a badass.
right, he's a badass. And there's other immortals, and then there's demons. Demons.
Do
don't
they
live-
cut off heads?
No, it's not Highlander.
Okay.
No. I
So
know.
the immortal can fly and has all these powers over the elements and shit.
and the demons only live 600 years, and they want to be immortal.
yeah,
Right.
and he's a badass, but they wind up like defeating him or something like way in the past, and he gets stuck in a mountain,
Right.
and they have to. I forget, was it like clues or coins or something to find the Monkey King?
There was Kamachuka. I can't remember her name. Chamachiki,
Yeah,
the bald girl.
Yeah, they find this. They wind up setting him free because these demons are coming.
Right.
They find him at the very last second to help fight off
The
the
demons were trying to find him
Yeah.
to find the secret of immortality from him.
Yeah, so he winds up waking up right before this demon shows up, and he doesn't have his full powers though.
Right. He's got amnesia. He doesn't know he's the Monkey King. Everybody keeps calling him the Monkey King. He doesn't understand that. Then he starts remembering things like he was in the palace, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good. It's really good. They only did one season. Shame. I'm telling you, it was fantastic. Netflix, a fantastic medium to stream video.
I mean,
But if Netflix is not your thing, we do have $10 gift cards to Blockbuster.
Yes.
Not kidding.
Folks, they really
We only have
do.
a few left.
It's incredible. I wouldn't be surprised if Blockbuster.com exists. I worked for CompuSafe for 10 years. I was a manager and all this. And when we went out of business, because obviously
Yeah.
brick and mortar's gone.
Yeah.
physical media is gone, man.
It's gone. It's gone. Well, there was no margin anyway in computers anyway. But at that time. But if you go to CompuSafe.com, there's still a website pushing media, pushing computers.
Who actually uses computers anymore, though?
I do. But
Like
I'm
an
older.
actual computer?
Yes, I have an actual desktop. But again, that's what I'm. Okay, that's a
Okay,
great
okay,
point.
just look-
I'm
okay, so-
comfortable with that.
I have my MacBook here.
Right.
And the only reason I use my MacBook now is for this show. It doesn't get touched otherwise.
What do you use to get online and do your thing? Phone?
I got my phone, man.
See,
I got the 6 Plus.
That's
so I have the big screen,
That's a generational thing.
and I can do everything on it.
Generational thing. So, for example, my son plays Minecraft on the computer in his room, and he's got a joystick. It looks like an Xbox joystick with a Bluetooth connection.
Yeah.
And he plays with that. When the battery dies, I tell him just use the mouse and keyboard. He cannot do it. What the hell is a keyboard?
See, I
do it.
I remember back in the day, I played Diablo 2,
Right.
and I had the gateway.
You burned through mouses on fucking Diablo.
Oh,
2.
yeah.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. I play to this day. A couple of buddies of mine. We're scattered. Like my buddy lives in Texas, the other one lives in Chicago, and the other one lives in California. It's like the 4 points. And we every now and then, like once every month, we get on this thing called Discord. It's like Skype.
I know what Discord is.
Yeah, Discord.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic program, by the way. Could be a great plug.
You're just trying to plug everything, man.
Well, I'm trying to get these people to throw some money. This podcast needs to survive now that I'm on it.
Oh no, we're absolutely going to survive. We're going to keep doing it. It's not about other
Send you
people.
donations?
It's about us.
It is. It is.
And we enjoy doing it, so we're just going to keep doing
Selfish
it.
thing I've ever seen.
And it's about the people who listen to us, but they listen to us, so it's really about us.
Yeah, it's really
It
about
is.
us.
It is.
You know,
it
it
made
was
me wear
awesome.
a shirt with them on it.
You laugh. He has a shirt with my face on
Oh
it.
my God.
Do you want one? I have sent them out to people. No, this is not a joke.
It's just weird if I show,
So,
you know.
he at my wedding, he met a couple guys I was in the service with and hit it off. They became friends, right? So he starts this whole thing. He takes a picture off my Facebook of me making this fake smile face, right?
I'll show you.
And he puts it on a T-shirt and he sends it to all of them. So I get text messages.
I didn't send it. I just like put it up, and they were like, "I want that." I'm done.
Yeah. So I can start getting pictures from all these guys that I know that I was in with. They all have this fucking shirt with my face on it.
That's awesome.
And there's 3 other people who you don't even fucking know who heard your stories. Who are like, "Yeah, I need that too."
That's just awesome. That's just awesome. Anyway, back to what I was saying. We game. Right now we're playing Battlefield 5, which is World War II.
Yeah.
And the Battlefield series is great. And I have to have a keyboard and mouse. There's no way. I did not grow up playing games on consoles after Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo 64, I was already into PCs. Let me look at this. Oh my God, folks! We can sell this.
Yeah.
We can sell.
Everyone
this
keeps
thing.
saying that.
Look how fucking happy he looks.
It's horrible. Yeah, yes.
I'm
but
drunk
it's
as shit in that picture.
Yes,
you don't even remember this.
Wow. It's like it came out of the womb.
But my last laptop died, but I'm with you. I want another laptop, and I'm going to buy a mouse because I actually want a mouse. I'm not good with the touchpad, but I'm going to buy another laptop because honestly, holding this up and jerking off is really cumbersome, and I like to get into it 2 hands.
I was
so-
expecting that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if
Well,
it worked.
that's why I have the iPad for that, and it's got a case with a lid that's kind
Yeah,
of stiff,
see,
so I can angle it. And
I don't have an
mount
iPad.
it. Yeah. See,
Okay.
Plus, we got smart TVs now and all that.
yeah, you just mirror image it. Done.
There we go.
Plus, I want her asshole to be this big on the screen.
Yeah.
like a
Literally
couple
see-
feet.
I want to see all the pimples on the ass cheeks.
I'm waiting for the fucking VR stuff coming out, like the Oculus and all that.
Yeah.
It's already out.
No,
My
but-
buddy has it.
I can't afford it right now.
Well, no, it's out of control still. Oculus, actually, as a matter of fact, they sold out. They were the guy who started Oculus had a great idea, started it, was great. Then he went commercial, and a lot of innovation dies when it goes to commercial, because what happens is when you commercialize things, the innovation becomes expensive. That's like the cost of keeping something going.
'Cause,
you already have something
you know,
good. Just
Production.
right. Just put garnish on the
You're
sides.
gonna make a capitalist joke, aren't you?
No, you know what's funny?
Here we go.
I saw this great video of
2
Trey
hours
Parker.
and 52 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's 1 hour.
No,
Almost 2 hours.
and 52 minutes. But divided, dude. I'm telling you, part one. Part
No,
two.
no.
People will enjoy this better than any other.
You're gonna come back. We're gonna do the search for Mike. But I saw this great video of Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and they're in this hot tub, right? And they got like 4 hot chicks there, like obviously big titted bimbos, like eating grapes and shit, and they're hanging out, and like they're in their bathrobes in the hot tub, like hanging the fuck out. And they're like, yeah, people keep saying we sold out. But they don't understand. We started off as sellouts. We did this to make money, so we're winning.
Wow.
That's my nickname, Sellout Mike. So we'll see if we can get to the second episode.
It's beautiful.
I don't remember if it was the VMAs or some Oscars or something. Do you remember when Trey Matt went to a show dressed in like I think something like J-Lo had worn?
Yes. Yeah.
Here's what you don't know, or probably don't know. They were tripping balls on LSD the entire fucking time.
LSD still around? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't know.
It's hard to find.
That was meth or
I've heard.
Meth? That's not here. That's
No.
that's like
California or something?
the north areas.
You say
Oh,
that.
you're right.
You say that.
Maryland,
You say that. But I was in Indiana for 4 years. I was in actually the meth county of Indiana, Elkhart, and they found so much fucking meth that the feds bought all the cops new cruisers because they had so many meth busts. I was there for 4 years. Never fucking saw it. I was honestly,
Probably exported it only.
I was kind of a little bit disappointed because like it had been like sold to me like this is everywhere. And I didn't see it. It's kind of like going to New York and not having a crazy homeless guy yell at you. I feel like I missed something.
So
Never
Mike,
saw meth.
I got a question. Who's your favorite captain, and why is it Janeway?
It's disgusting. It's so uncomfortable to be here, folks.
What are you sexist? What?
No, it's incredible. There's a vagina on the wall. No,
That's a rabbit.
No, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Sorry. Janeway. I love Janeway. Season 4 forward.
Oh, so she is your favorite captain.
There's nothing better than Janeway in Voyager. In Voyager. The reason Cisco to me was a favorite. Remember, we're all products.
Because he's Che Guevara's space.
Here we go. We're all
Every time.
we're products of our generation. Next Generation, I was a young kid. I remember the first episode when it came out. It was a big deal, and
How old are you?
The weirdest thing. I'm 45.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 9 years.
Yeah.
9 years older than me. Okay.
9 years? Okay. When the Next Generation first premiered, I saw the episode and I said, this is weird. I'm a TOS
Yeah.
child because, I wasn't around when TOS came out, but, the
Yeah.
syndication. And I didn't care for it. Then I watched, every now and then, I would watch an episode of TNG. And that was it. All of a sudden, I'm living on my own. I got my own place. I turn on the television one day, and there's the Next Generation during the Dominion War. I think it was season 7. I think it was when I started watching it. And I thought, holy shit, this isn't Star Trek. There's shooting, and there's death, and there's people dying, and there's war. It's fantastic. So I started recording it, and then it ended. I thought the ending was fantastic. And I was watching on UPN. Then it's syndication, right? What do they do? Back to season 1. I became hooked. And that's why DS9 was, to me, was my favorite. Then Voyager came out. Couldn't stomach it. I watched, I think, one episode. I didn't watch it again until the finale because it was so hyped on television. They said, you need to watch this finale. I said, fine, I'll watch the finale.
The finale was really great. I thought
It was fantastic.
It was fantastic. It was
I wish,
brilliant.
Remember at the end when all the ships, they're guiding Voyager back to Earth, like when it comes out of the transwarp hub?
Yeah.
You almost wanted to see what happened next. You wanted to see the fireworks. You wanted to see the speeches, and it just ended. And it was like, fuck. And then you wanted to watch more. So
Yeah.
that's why, to me, Voyager's great.
Voyager is definitely like I wanted to know like the entire lives of people more in that series than in any other series. Like what happens to 7 of 9? Because she takes a name.
Right.
And like what does she do with the rest of her fucking life?
Right.
I don't really care what Riker does that much because you're supposed to be on Picard. That's who you are.
No, I'll tell you why. Because you watched like 9 freaking movies after TNG
Yeah.
ended. You're like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
What's this guy doing now?
Yeah.
You want to know about 7 and 9?
Yeah.
What about Janeway?
Yeah.
how
does
about
does
this?
she become an admiral? Like
Here's another actor that got out. You
Does she
ready?
go back to
Tom Hardy?
to Delta? What?
Tom Hardy.
Nemesis.
Another actor that got out.
Okay.
Tom Hardy.
Right. The Nemesis. Okay.
He's moved on to great things.
But
That's one movie.
dude, I've told people that's Tom Hardy. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
He was so fucking good as a Picard clone. Spoiler alert.
He was. Well, I mean,
So yeah, just what
15 years.
Yeah, later.
That's why I said it sarcastically.
I love it. But Tom Hardy's one movie, guys. I'm talking. Yeah. To get out, one movie maybe you can get out, but once you're in a series, forget it.
What about
You want to know
Selvig?
what happens? Who?
What's her name? Selvig from I think was it Wrath of Khan? She played Lieutenant Selvig. Vulcan
no,
chick.
no, Savick.
Savik. That's it. That's it. Savik. Yeah.
Oh wait, from Cheers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Then they recast her the next movie. and then when during the
her name?
search for Spock,
It was another chick.
yeah, and he's going through whatever that like their
Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie
Kirstie
Alley.
Alley,
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
There you go. Do you remember when she used to be hot?
Yes.
So long ago.
What happened? She was super hot and she blew up.
Yeah.
She's looking like a cow out of nowhere, and she
And it was-
never lost weight.
And it was
No,
sad.
she's lost weight recently.
What?
She's,
Well, maybe now
she's
with the
selling for-
gastric whatever.
Yeah,
no,
but-
no, she's doing
yeah,
the
but I'm
Jenny
not.
Craig thing. I think.
Yeah, but I'm not hitting it now.
I mean, I would just because.
Back in the day was out of control.
Oh, she was gorgeous. Fucking
Cheers.
gorgeous.
Cheers was a great show. Let me tell you, that's something. See, those shows, you don't see them anymore. That you have
because cable's dead.
It is. It is. Sitcoms are just not.
It's not funny
the
anymore.
fake laugh
And-
tracks.
It's over it.
And because every episode is sort of self-contained, so there's no like development. We want development. People say like people have no attention span. Yeah, we do. We'll fucking tune into 3 hours of fucking Game of Thrones. We have attention span, but we just don't like sitcoms anymore.
Right.
Because there's no development, there's no overall story arc, there's nothing deep
It
involved.
just restarts to the
Look,
next day. Like it's as if nothing happened.
It's nothing happened.
That's why Fuller House sucks. I'm sorry, but it does.
It does. I'm not down.
I've seen it all because my wife is in love with it and whatever.
no.
It's
Divorce.
I would
It's-
watch it
eh.
just because Jodie Sweetin is still hot, huge boobs, nice ass.
Yeah.
Congrats on getting over that meth addiction.
Yeah, right.
What was the chick's name?
That's Stephanie, by the way.
No.
Just saying. Super hot. There are pictures up.
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World.
Oh, they did Girl
What's her
Meets
name?
World, and it sucked. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
What was her
It-
name?
It was who?
The girl. The
Topanga.
Topanga.
Oh, God, I loved
she-
her.
What a horrible
Oh,
name.
She,
But she was hot as shit. I don't
God
give a
damn,
fuck.
the lips.
She
and
just-
she's so hot.
Oh, yeah, she is.
I just saw it today, actually. She is having her first kid. Not that it matters, but
Yeah.
Her first guy, did you say like 45 or something?
Yeah, whatever.
Wow.
I don't.
No judgment.
I can look it up.
You know what's funny
but-
about that? Everyone's like, "Oh, you get older, you know, the risk of this and this goes up by 50%."
Yeah, no. It
What-
really
From
does.
1% to 2%.
Yeah, from 1% to
No,
fucking
no,
2%.
no, my
No. The risk goes up 80%. But this is how statistics work. If your original risk was 1% and it went up 50%, now you're 1.5 fucking percent.
No, but my
so
wife's
it's all
a nerd.
right.
Yeah, my wife's
So
a nerd.
you and Amy can have kids.
We could, but we're not fucking going to.
Gross. It's getting weird. And by the way, we're sitting here naked. We've been taking off our clothes.
See, you say that, but this is the guy that he wears the fucking corset during shows sometimes. The entire
Weird.
fucking show.
It's pink, by the way.
No,
No,
it's black.
no.
We put pictures up.
No. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So then I'm lying.
Hold on. You need to sign the desk. If you notice, the desk has writing all
yes,
over it.
By the way, yes, there is.
And we got to get a picture.
And a picture, yes, we do, because I have to prove to my wife that for 3 fucking hours I've been talking about bullshit.
It wasn't 3 hours.
It's 3
No,
hours, gentlemen.
No, it's exactly 2 hours and 54 seconds. 55,
It's-
56, 57.
That's a 3.
That's a 2.
That's it. I have 4 beers. Yeah, that's
You're
a
blind.
3,
You're
folks.
blind. You're blind.
We
You're
hit a
blind.
time warp. Time is relative here.
It
Yes.
is. It is.
So,
Don't you wish you could stop time, by the way?
no.
Yes.
No.
Only if I'm Zach Morris and I can like molest the girls. Time out. I'm gonna do
Weird.
stuff. I'm gonna do stuff to her. Oh, by the way, have you ever seen Zach Morris's Trash?
No.
Now, have you actually seen Saved by the Bell? Like
Yes.
growing up,
Yes.
dude, they go over these episodes. He's a fucking piece of shit. Like he's one of the worst human beings ever, and I'm kind of addicted to Zach Morris's Trash. It's a Facebook kind of show. Facebook didn't make it, but it's the only place that I found it. He's a fucking piece of shit.
I've got to look
Yeah,
back.
he's a dirtball.
Yeah, but like,
That show was great.
it's just weird because you're shitting on something I grew up with, and I'm loving it. Like, how dare you? Thank you.
Do you remember the TV movies they made when they go to college or whatever?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys remember what's a Tonight Show? That they did an episode. Google Tonight Show, Saved by the Bell.
Is
He
this the
brought-
one where he comes on and goes, "No, my real name is actually Zach Morris"?
No. He brought the actors
Okay.
back, and they redid an episode of Saved by the Bell.
Which who's hosting the Tonight Show then?
Oh my God, the guy who's doing
Johnny
it
Carson?
now. No, the guy who's doing it now. Wow, damn.
Well, I thought you were like 50.
No, but Saved by the Bell's not 50. What's his name? Oh my God, I forgot his name.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy
Leno.
Kimmel. That's
Letterman.
Channel 10.
Leno?
No. After Leno.
Conan?
No, Conan was fantastic. By the
We
way.
just went through all the
Coco.
hosts. There's nobody
Yeah.
else.
No, after Conan. What's his name? He's on there now. That's
Fallon?
sad, gentlemen.
Fallon? No.
Jimmy Fallon's
Yes,
on it?
Jimmy Fallon. The Tonight Show's with Jimmy Fallon. Yes, he's been
Is
doing
he?
it since
I
Coco
thought
got
that-
booted.
Wait.
Coco got booted.
I thought
Conan
Colbert is
O'Brien.
I thought Colbert.
Oh, no.
I keep
Colbert's got one now. I don't care. Whatever. The show
Colbert's
sucks
got
dick.
one now on
Nobody watches
yeah,
it.
he.
Yeah,
Colbert's-
nobody watches that shit.
It's
Yeah, well, here
it's
we
all
go,
just
because he's
Orange Man
Democrat.
bad. Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad.
It's incredible.
Orange Man bad. Those shows suck.
So to wrap it up,
So, any final thoughts, Mike?
I do. My mistake, and I've heard the podcast before many times. was to assume that we'd stick on subject.
Oh, that's adorable.
Nerd.
I'll never do that again. Nerd.
Sometimes he'll invite people on, and I'm like, tell me nothing. Let's just fucking go in dry.
That's yes, but you know what? It's enjoyable because we talk about all this fan stuff and we like the same things. It's easy. It's easier when you talk about things that everybody enjoys. Star Trek, just to end it where we started, and I've been trying, by the way. I think everybody can tell. Fantastic series. Franchise. And I think we all have our favorites. I think it's evolved over the years. It's not where I think it should have been.
Absolutely not. I agree.
Correct. And you see, that's funny because it's generational. I'm older, and I don't think it's where it's supposed to be. You guys are younger. I think you're feeling the same. However, it's got to survive. It's gotta change.
I think this lull is not necessarily a bad thing. I think we'll have this lull, and then somebody growing up who's like maybe like 15, 16 right now is watching the old shit going, no, I got this. I'm going to do this.
Maybe, yes. I think so, but the attention span nowadays of the younger, the youth, isn't the same. So I think it's going to be harder for them to go back and watch the old stuff. For us, it's easier, obviously, because we grew up with it. I still miss the old stuff. Obviously, you're always sentimental for the stuff that you grew up with. But I think it has a bright future, and the reason I say that is not because of the CBS All Access and the bullshit that they're doing to us, and the movies that are kind of weird. I think it has a bright future because they're allowing the franchise to go wherever people think it needs to go. J.J. Abrams took it and went this way to the left, and maybe it'll go to the right next. But it's a good memory as a child. I think it instilled in a lot of people, especially a lot of people I grew up with a moral compass, which a lot of people don't have anymore. And also, FYI,
Moral what?
moral compass, immoral compass. That's the word they got. Also, the episodes were relevant at the time. I think some of them are still relevant. Social issues, etc. And Gene Roddenberry, God bless him, he had the vision to see this thing through. And I think my parting words would be, if you haven't seen the old stuff, start with season 1 of any series, just a lot of beer. Get to season 3, and they're all the same. TNG season 3, after it ends, starts getting good. Voyager season 3 ends, starts getting good. DS9, same shit. TOS only had 3 seasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's all you got. Don't watch the anime series. Don't waste your time. If you want to, go ahead.
Don't watch the first movie.
Yes.
And don't waste your time with Enterprise.
Oh, you can watch the first movie if you're high. Or drunk.
I like Enterprise.
Yeah, well, we didn't even touch on Enterprise. We're going to have part 2 when they do the search.
We're gonna do the search for Mike, and we're gonna talk about Enterprise.
Okay.
Wait.
I liked it too.
Enterprise is what?
Season, it only had 4 seasons.
It only had 4
The guy
seasons.
from Quantum Leap.
The guy from Quantum Leap.
Oh, where
Yeah.
they had like no teleportation and
They had
like
no teleportation,
and shitty warp drive.
shitty warp, and
right. But the guy from Quantum Leap and
there was no Federation.
And
it was,
spoiler, it basically just ends with it's all a hologram thing.
Stop. We're saving that for the search for Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Weird. Fine. All right. It's a pleasure being here, man.
Thank you. Don't forget to go to Schnedley's Winery.
We're gonna be there tonight.
Like their social media. Tell them you heard it from us.
We will.